Okay, we're back. We're back in town.
I can barely hear you, Justin, because you're speaking into your French fries.
Justin,
I'm gonna take these French fries and put them away. I'm gonna put them somewhere else.
Where are you gonna put them? In your pocket?
I'm gonna twist them. No, I don't want to put them in my pocket.
I turned you down, and I think I should have kept you turned up.
turn them up a little bit.
I think we're good.
Loud. Yeah,
now
that's
we
better.
can
I
definitely
think
hear
we're
you.
back.
Sources said we're back.
Allegedly. Okay.
We're back
Well,
again.
welcome back to Two Pack Taper.
Yep.
We have two guests, again, of male descent.
Yeah, we're back. We just got back from Detroit. We banked a couple interviews there.
Why can't we just pretend that we didn't?
Okay, we could
Just
pretend we
we're
didn't
doing
do
it at a
anything.
very timely
Yeah.
order. Anyway, so we have two guests with us. They're both runners. They both have corporate jobs.
They both have secret subreddit accounts.
They do. Well, do you have a secret one, Justin?
I actually just deleted
Oh,
Reddit
wow.
a
That
couple
was
days
false.
ago.
Oh, wow.
news then.
For your mental health?
Yeah.
Reddit was affecting your mental health. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So with us, we have Andrew, who is an ex-collegiate runner. He works doing all of Hillary Clinton's social media.
Yep.
Wow, that is just genuinely true.
And
But it could be.
he lives with his sister, and he just ran CIM with a fast marathon of 2 hours and 33 seconds.
33.
God, I didn't want to screw that up. And then
33 minutes.
33 minutes, because
33
that would have been the
minutes.
world
Oh, yeah,
record.
sorry,
what you just
sorry.
said.
Yeah.
And then to my left, we have Justin, who is an RD. He has the cutest little snowman thing in his window
my God, I
at
do.
his house.
I actually
Oh, I've never seen that.
I haven't seen that yet.
He's
I've never been
also.
inside your house yet. I haven't gotten this like.
You gotta
Oh,
get
yeah.
over there.
I haven't gone in
I gotta
either.
just break in one of these days.
I'll leave the side door open.
Sweet.
Let's see what else about Justin. He also
It's in a
he
long-
went to CMU
I did.
and he
Fire up
did
chips?
club track. Is that
Club
what you
track
call
at
it? Club
CMU?
track. Club track.
In a
And again,
long-distance
he's an RD
relationship.
as well as he works in a local running store
Justin
as
Desloover
the one who runs the
And
place.
Andrew
He's the head
Wittland.
honcho. Yeah, Justin Desloover.
Yeah.
and Andrew Whitland. Desloover. Like, that's a crazy last name. I've never met anyone with that name. Is that, what
I
is
like
the
it.
nationality?
Wittland.
Oh,
it's Polish?
No. I'm sorry. It's Belgian.
Oh.
Belgian,
And
okay.
I think my dad's dad is like Belgian and Russian, I'm pretty sure.
Justin, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you ever get mad at your feet?
Mad at him.
But because they have a
Yeah.
lot of hair on them,
Oh.
but
Actually,
not a lot
yes.
on your head.
So much. So like whenever I put on like rubber flip flops or something
Yeah.
like that, my hairs on my feet will like get stuck, and they'll like pull them.
Are we pro flip flops? Or are we?
No.
Oh, we're not.
What?
you
Flip. Okay, well, there's a difference between flip flops and like. Are you when you say flip flops? Are you talking about like toe floss, or are you talking about
I'm
like
talking thongs.
Thongs.
I'm
No.
talking thongs. I wear thongs over here.
Toe thongs?
you wore
Really?
flip flops
In the
here?
winter?
It's snowing.
So actually, when I was in college, whenever I went to a party, I would wear flip flops to the party, and it was always a joke. Like my friends would take pictures of my feet at these parties,
Oh my
saying,
God.
"Guess who showed up?"
like were the dogs like were they wearing any socks or were they bare?
No, bear,
Oh,
Man.
no.
bear every time. I'm gonna see.
See if
I
you
would
can
love
find
to
us
see
a
some
pic.
photos.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's some.
yeah.
Maybe there's something to that because your
Whip 'em out
feet like
here.
are moisturized.
Oh.
They didn't look like terrible.
But usually women are not pulled to the, they're not attracted to the thong sandals. And
I would say.
What about with socks?
It doesn't do anything.
No.
Yeah, I think I
with
have
or
to
without
agree
socks?
with you, Paul.
Yeah.
A lot of women that I meet, they hate thong
Because we don't
sandals.
want you to be flossing your toes
with jeans, that's not a good look, right?
with anything.
Oh,
Okay.
I was doing it with jeans. Yeah. It was not appropriate.
Well, right now you're wearing cargo pants. You'd call it
Can I
that.
just say really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm like so glad that I'm in real life. Hold your thoughts here, Mac. I'm just really glad that I'm in real life witnessing Paul's podcast voice because I've heard episodes of the show, and like Paul has this very slow,
Yeah.
Yeah, he changes his
Yeah.
voice on the podcast.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm like listening to a different Paul right now. It's
Do you?
very interesting.
He
Yeah,
loves to
yeah.
do this thing, and someone called him out where he goes,
Yeah, he goes
like
for
he
the
does a lot of
effects.
voices.
He
Yeah,
goes
it's
for the
like,
special effects.
yeah, my name's Paul.
No one's ever talked like that.
That's how you talk. Can we
You guys be very-
rewind
we
and
could be- yeah, we could be-
or let's rewind and let's talk about the date he went on previously to
Yeah.
whatever happened today,
So
where he
let's
had to wear a
start-
beret. Ow!
Okay.
Sorry, a cat literally jumped onto me and like parkoured off. Okay, I apologize.
So yeah, let's go back to what
think we're
night?
friends?
Last
You think we're
night?
friends, Kat?
Was it last night you were on another
Listen,
date?
you're dropping a
Yeah.
lot of personal details. Can we just say he went on a date previously and talk about the
Okay,
date?
yeah, a date previously. Sorry.
We went on a date previously, yeah.
And he had to wear a
No,
French hat.
you said we. This was
him
the
and
same.
a girl.
Yeah,
It wasn't the same person.
Myself and a girl.
yeah.
Himself and a girl went on a date,
Right.
and he had to wear a French hat.
So set the scene. You're at a bar or no? You were at.
We were at a cocktail bar.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a restaurant. Right.
Did she
And-
carry them in her purse?
Yeah, they were in her purse.
Oh, how'd they
Actually.
fit in there?
Dude.
I don't know. It's pretty.
Okay,
pretty
berets are
decent-sized purse.
flexible.
They
Cat-
are.
cat check, sorry.
Yeah,
So
she's-
she had made a joke. We had made a joke about that while we were texting. Like that. Excuse me. That's really rude of you to just
Keep going. I'm gonna get her.
She's yelling.
Yeah, we made a joke about. I think I don't know how it all came up, but something about like French berets. And
Is
she
there
was-
another type of berets?
I don't
Not
know. I
French?
just like I think that's like the common association. But she was basically like, okay, what if I like wore them on the date, or what if I brought them on the date? And I think I kind of just like laughed along to it. And then she, lo and behold, brought them out. So that was a first. That was a first on a date.
I can imagine.
She committed to the bit. You kind of need to hand that to her.
You know,
I gotta.
Yeah.
Claps
yeah.
for her.
So it's just like Drake champs where like we just like start like, you know.
no.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
That's
that
an
made me
inside
anxious.
joke that Mac did not understand there, right?
Matt, have
No,
you ever
I
watched
didn't
Drink
get
Champs?
it. Who? Drinks Champs?
Drink Champs. Like, you know,
No.
that's like the show, like the podcast where like they get rappers really drunk and they talk about like Kanye went on there and like said some crazy stuff, and then like
Oh,
he like
that's
dissed Big
the-
Sean, and then Big Sean came back and then like did this whole rebuttal episode. It was awesome.
No,
that
I don't
wasn't
listen to a lot of
planned.
podcasts that aren't dating advice.
That wasn't Kanye West's episode.
What?
The one where he talks
Oh,
about
yeah.
like
Where he
hating
says-
Jewish people.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So many things.
Why they give that man a microphone? To be honest.
Andrew, was that the? Would you say that's like the worst date you've been on, or maybe not even the worst?
Why did
I
you
feel like
preface it with the worst?
It's
Yeah.
also
been the
yeah, it's
best.
also hard because it's like was that like a terrible date or was it just an odd situation?
Yeah, that too.
I don't know. It could have been a little bit of both. She's a super nice person.
Okay.
She was super nice.
I mean, it wasn't boring, that's for sure.
It wasn't boring. No. I like I said, she committed to the bit. I thought that was kind of fun. So
I like a girl who can commit to the bit.
if we can commit to the bit, that was cool.
The
That was cool.
bit.
So yeah, no, shout out to her. She was cool. No, very nice. I would not say it was like.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a bad, quote unquote bad.
Right,
thing.
right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
We-
fun
We've heard
times. Fun
worse.
times in this world.
Justin, how long have you been in a relationship?
We started dating last February.
Okay.
For someone who's in a relationship, I know a lot about your dating life.
Do you?
There's a lot of words on the street.
Whoa.
Oh,
Words on the street.
there is.
Paul's like, whoa.
I haven't heard these
The
words.
streets have talked.
Have
The
they?
streets are talking.
In the past.
The
I
streets are
will
talking.
cover my bases and say the relationship you are thinking of never was a relationship.
Oh, that we heard
was-
about this weekend.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is Drink Champs for sure.
It was
Yeah.
casual.
Great chance
Okay.
for sure. It was casual.
And I
You're setting
told-
the record straight.
You
right
want to know
now.
what's
Yes.
funny is the other man who was named
Mm-hmm.
also said the same thing, that it was a casual non-relationship.
So I think that there may be just some
There might be some similarities there.
miscommunication.
We're talking about this as if it's like the Epstein list. It's like the other
Right.
man who was named on the
Right,
list.
Hey,
The cat's
yeah.
back.
Lots of how did you get the cat
I
back?
put her upstairs.
And did you shut her in anywhere?
town.
No.
That
Mind
cat
you,
is
come back down.
There's like 17 different cats, so this could
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
be.
Andrew's allergic.
I
Andrew is
am
always
allergic, dude. Max cats have tried to kill me multiple times.
But yeah, this town. You know, this town's small when a girl from another is in another. Oh wait, is she in this town now?
No.
Okay.
No.
She never has been in this town.
Oh,
She's
but I
just
thought
close
she
to the
wanted
Calling
to.
her out.
I thought she wanted to come to our
Never
run club.
been in
back.
this town.
She did.
She did. Okay.
Which then I was confused as to
Who and how she get there?
yes.
So, you want to know what a hot topic is?
Go ahead.
Is
Like the
Sydney-
store, like the store.
No,
at
is
the
Sydney
mall.
Sweeney hot?
Oh, we were talking about
Oh.
Sydney
Sydney.
Sweeney's beautiful, yeah.
But is she
I
hot?
love to get on.
What's
A
your
stool for
definition of
this.
hot versus
So
beautiful?
here's my thing. Okay, well,
In short,
okay, you're gonna be nice to women.
No.
So,
Well,
No.
she's not.
How did this
hot.
come up the other night?
someone brought it up. Was it you, Justin?
was me, I think.
Okay, Justin and I were talking about it in
Yeah.
a different setting. I thought.
Oh, I think it was when we were running with Noah.
Yes,
We were
with
talking
Noah,
about the
us
new
three.
movie.
Yeah, because he was going to see the new movie. Or anyone but you.
Yeah.
And Justin was like, okay, so is she hot? And I was like, I don't think so. I think the only reason people think she's hot is because she's got big boobs.
She has cans.
She got cans.
And you can tell, I saw the movie, and you can tell they really knew that.
Oh.
Because they showed a lot of boobs. They couldn't find a single thing that actually fit her. Like, I mean, swimsuits, she turned around, and like a woman's swimsuit should be pretty much like you wear the front of it, and then the back of it should be straight in line.
Yeah.
Hers was all the way up to her, like almost her neck in the back because it couldn't like hold her boobs. And they wanted to really push it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so is she hot? I don't know. Justin says no. I say I think she's pretty. I definitely think she's ugly.
I saw a tweet, and it was a picture of her and Glenn Powell, and it was these two look like mice that have 1 hour left until they turn back into mice.
Actually, kind of okay. Like I kind of feel like yeah. No, that like makes sense.
Mice.
It's like Princess and the Frog, but like mice edition.
Bingo, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I heard that they hooked up, and his girlfriend left him.
Yeah.
In real life? Like, is that what you're saying?
That's not part of the
I thought it was
movie.
part of the movie or something.
No, why would I say I heard? I saw the movie. I
so
can
she
guarantee.
hooked up with a co-star?
Yeah.
And it's Hollywood. It probably happens more often.
I
than
know,
you think.
for
So
real.
leading into that,
Oh, okay.
Justin and
Andrew, I think.
I don't
What's
know.
my name? What's my name?
I
I
was-
dare you. I dare you to tell me my name.
I was gonna call you Witty but I don't like that. I meant
Yeah,
you
you
as
never call
Andrew,
him that.
and I'm gonna keep calling you Andrew. People have kind of translated into the Witty part, but I've always called you Andrew.
Yeah, I really
I'm a
don't
witty
care,
man.
honestly.
I don't know.
You're a witty man. Yeah.
But like I know when Paul tried to call you Witty the other day, and I was like, it's Andrew.
But
just call me
this
that.
one guy at track club was calling you JD, and I was like, "Who's that?"
So JD was my nickname in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
My
Did this
coach would
person
call
know
me
you
that.
in JD or know you in high
Christian.
school?
His name was Christian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Christian went to Central. He
Oh,
was
CMU,
on
okay,
running
okay.
club, and so
Okay.
some people at Central they knew me as JD because it kind of transferred
Yeah.
over to college, and so when some people do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was gonna ask, like, what is your worst like decision you've ever made when it comes to a woman?
Oh, what do you mean decision?
Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like your worst sex story, but like, I don't know. Like, I would consider like if you're working with someone and you have a fiance and they have a girlfriend, probably hooking up is a bad decision.
Right.
I'm talking about Sydney Sweeney and
One
the guy.
of
Is this a
bad
gotcha thing?
decisions.
Like, are we gonna like?
Yeah.
It's like, well, your ex-girlfriend is here right now, and she's about to confront you. Like, what is this?
No.
That would be crazy.
That would
crazy.
be.
I'm just trying to
an
get to the
unforgettable night.
juice. I want to get to the juice.
When I was a freshman in college, there's so much lore to this that I'm going to try to speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you go to Central, like welcome week,
Right.
there's a thing called Leadership Safari, and you have a safari guide. Yeah. And they take you through the motions. They like take you around campus. They lead you through all these things, yada yada yada.
And this is your freshman year.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
My roommates ended up becoming really good friends with him.
Okay.
So
With your leadership safari.
yes,
Got
his safari guide
Yeah.
would like come over to the dorm and hang out and stuff like that. And we would just chat. And one day we were like just hanging out in the room and we were playing What Are the Odds?
Never
As
heard of
freshmen
that.
boys do.
What is that? What is that?
You
Is that when you go 1, 2, 3, 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And so we were just hanging out, and Sydney said, "What are the odds that you kiss me?" I name dropped.
Sweeney?
We'll cut that.
Sydney Sweeney.
Believe it or not, yeah.
Okay, it was Sydney.
She fires up. Fire up
Okay.
chips.
And this girl, she says, "What are the odds that you kiss me?" And
Okay.
no, I think I asked her that. I don't know. I was goofing off, and she said 1 in 10, and I was like, "That's really low numbers.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually low.
Wait,
That's really low."
I thought it was supposed to be 1 to 3.
No, so you
Well-
count 3, 2, 1, and then you both say
One.
a number.
A number. An
Oh, but I
odd.
thought it had to be between 3.
No, it has to be
no,
between
it's either 1 in
and
5 or 1 in 10.
You can do 1
Yeah.
5, 1 10, or you can choose whatever really
1 to
number
like
you
a
want.
billion.
Yeah.
But I'm
Okay.
interested. There was like an unspoken rule, especially like when we would play that game in college. If you wanted to do whatever thing it was, you would do 4. Like the most
Yes.
commonly guessed one is 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So if it was
Throw
like, you know,
mics.
in this case, it's like, oh, if you
I
wanted to kiss her, you would say 4.
And guess what? We both said 4.
What? Wait, that's like real? You actually both said 4? You just
Fact.
That was a
factual.
factual
Did you know
statement.
that was the rule?
I didn't know that at the time.
Were you, bo- were
But
you,
now that you bring it up, it makes complete sense.
were you
Yeah.
both single?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
So one thing led to another.
Wait, did you have to
and-
kiss in front of everybody?
Yeah. But she was like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like catch you off guard with it." And then she did catch me off guard.
Oh
when
wait, so she was like, "I'll kiss you at some point in this time period."
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And so when she did kiss me, it did catch me off guard.
And then there was tongue.
And no, she texted me and she was like, "You're a bad kisser." And I was like, "Well, if you would have told me, then it would have been better." And then it led to more than that.
Other things.
And eventually, she was at the bar.
Heavy petting.
After I hadn't texted her for a while because it was a weird situation, made me uncomfortable. And she texted me and she was like, "Why don't you text me back anymore? Like, I love you." And I was like, "What?"
Whoa.
I got one of those.
Like an actual I love you?
An actual I love you. And so I...
How long after you knew her was she throwing around I love you?
This was
So
October.
like
we
a
met
month.
in last
August,
weekend of
right?
August.
Like August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow, 2 months.
I was in the cafeteria at school, and my RA actually knows this girl. So I went up to my RA, and I'm like bug-eyed, like white face. She's like, "What's going on?" I said, "We have a problem," and I showed her the text. She starts laughing. She's
How
like,
how much older was this safari guide? 2 years older?
2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then my RA came back to the dorm, and then all my roommates knew, and it became this big bunny thing. And I had to explain to this girl, I was like, "I didn't think about it that way. I just thought that this was like a casual thing." And it's never casual. I've learned that. And so she like ended up sitting, like we were like sitting outside of our dorm one day until like 4 a.m, like explaining everything.
Jeez.
Did she cry?
No, she didn't actually.
So wait, let me get this straight. The safari guide leader person, that wasn't her.
Yeah,
It was her.
It was her. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So here's the
Transpired.
tree. There's me
Safari guide.
Right.
and Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is my roommate.
Right.
Roommate Chris.
Chris's safari guide was who
Got it.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
got
keep it in the family.
bingo.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest though, I've thrown around an I love you when I didn't mean it just because I was like, fuck you.
Oh.
That's a weird reasoning for it.
Well, like there was this guy that I was
I hate
dating.
you. I hate you so much. Then I'm gonna tell you I love you.
No, but
You
there was
know?
this guy and he was like being kind of like wishy-washy. We've been dating for a while and we were like kind of basically gonna break up. And I was like, well, just so you know, I loved you. And he was like leaving and he like immediately
That's
was
useless.
like, no, because he immediately was like, wait, I love you too. And then he was like trying to stay together. and I
so
was
it's a
like,
last ditch kind of thing.
no, but I didn't want to be with him anymore. I just was like, I knew it would kind of like, fuck him up a little bit.
I think it probably one time I was breaking up with my ex and she was leaving and she said, "Oh yeah, well I'm bisexual," and I was so
She's a
caught off
freaky
guard.
young
I
girl.
literally stopped and I was like, "Wait, can you come back?"
What? Just
Yeah.
a clarification here.
When
Yeah.
did this happen?
But what was that relevant to the fight?
Absolutely not whatsoever.
I love that though.
It was the most toxic
Were they
relationship
actually
ever.
bisexual?
Great question.
He doesn't know to this day.
Well, I just wanted
to
to
this
know.
day, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
I've been learning a lot about different sexualities: pansexual, demisexual, bisexual.
Wait, before we go to that, I want to, because I didn't live in the dorms. Is it when you're a freshman and you see an RA, do you look, even though, are they usually only like a year, 2, 3 older? Or
They
like-
can-
yeah,
yeah.
something like
Well,
Well,
that.
they have to be in college.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, they can't
Yeah.
just. You can't just be like 40 and be like, "I'm your RA, kids."
See, the weird thing is, to me, it's like, is it
'Cause they
weird? Is it weird that they're so close in age to you, or do you look at them as like, oh, this is my elder? Like I'm.
They
gonna listen
usually
to them?
don't interact. Like the reason that people are RAs
yeah.
that I've noticed at least is because they get free dorm and food, like room and dorm,
Okay.
Yeah.
or room and board. So like a lot of the RAs that I had back in college. Oh my gosh, River.
Whatever.
A lot of the RAs that I
Ketchup.
had in college, they kind of like stayed to themselves. I mean, they were nice and friendly, but it wasn't like I didn't look at them as like, oh my god, they're my parent or like an
Yeah.
adult figure. But I also just like didn't really. I don't know. I didn't really care about them at all.
Yeah, when I was an RA, like we.
You were an RA?
I was an RA. I was an RA.
Were you doing it to meet girls?
I was in charge of a guy's hall.
Oh, you guys separated by halls?
Yeah. Well, so at Albion, like
explains
the freshman, there was one dorm that housed freshmen, and like each hall was either guys or girls.
That sucks. How are you gonna sneak out and do the dirty?
I mean, people
don't.
found ways, but
Did you catch them doing the dirty?
I never caught that. No.
What else would you catch?
I really, I mainly just caught people smoking weed.
And did you tell on them?
Well, no, because they were doing it blatantly in front of me. So it's like you do it, and it's like, okay, well, like you didn't hide this. Like same
So
thing with
then
like
you
people
narked.
drinking. Well, no, like because it's like when you're on call, and like basically when you're on call, you have to
Narc on people.
essentially, yeah.
That sucks.
It was not
bad
the most
part of the
fun
job.
year. The hilarious thing was my very first weekend on call. was like one of the first big party weekends, and
Did you also hook up with a safari guide?
I did not. We did not have safari guides at Albion, and so that did not happen. But I'm not as adventurous as JD over here. But see what I did there was the safari adventure. Ha ha ha. Anyways, so I'm doing like my midnight rounds. We have to walk around, just survey the halls. And this one guy that I lived across from me my freshman year. Was there with like some girl, and he clearly had like a red Solo cup of like, it didn't look like beer, it looked like some sort of mixed drink. And so I was just like, hey
Roofie
man,
colada.
Oh God,
A roofie
I hope
colada.
not. I hope not. And I was just like, what you got there? And he's like, oh, it's just Coca-Cola. And I just kind of like, in my head, I was just like, I don't know if I want to like go through all this trouble. So I didn't. I was just like, okay, I'll trust you on this one, even though it definitely wasn't Coca-Cola. And so that was like my sophomore year. Senior year, I saw this guy at a frat party. And like I was quickly talking to him, and he goes, "Do you remember when like you nearly had to write me up, like when you were an RA?"
He was the Coca-Cola guy?
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, "Yeah, I remember that." And he was like, we were both like laughing about it. And he was like, I was like, if this guy writes me up, he's like, I'm gonna call like shenanigans on that, because I lived across from them freshman year, and like, you know, I saw what you guys did freshman year. And he's like, this guy's writing me up now. So yeah, no, I really didn't have. I mean, unfortunately, I had some like RA counterparts who like dealt with some really messed up stuff with like kids in their hall.
Ooh.
But
Women or men mostly?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
It was mainly just like I told them, you had like that meeting with them on the very first week, and literally I told them what my RA told me. I was like, okay. I read them like the college rule, like the excerpt from the college rule book about like banned substances and all that. And I was like, here's the thing, guys. Like, I know this is college. So here's the deal with this hall. It's like, if I don't see anything, if I don't hear anything, and if I don't smell anything, didn't happen. We're good. So most of them followed that to a T. There was really no... I mean, aside from like maybe one or two who were just like blatantly like either drinking or smoking in front of me, it's like, okay, you did this to yourself here.
Okay, Andrew, but enough deflecting. What is the worst thing you've done to a woman?
What?
Worst
What is
thing
that?
That wasn't the question.
That was not the question. Wow.
Did I phrase that wrong?
I think it was the worst.
Or was it the dumbest
Decision.
thing? Yes, the worst
The worst
decision when it comes
What's
to
the
women.
worst thing you've done to her?
The worst decision.
Killer.
How many bodies?
To gut her like a fish.
Yeah. Wow. Well, how many relationships have you been in, like
Serious ones?
not counting like 7th grade? You know what I mean?
Probably like 3, but I think I would say like I do have a story for like the worst was like.
When's the last time you had sex, Andrew?
Chill.
We need to chill here.
2023 probably, right?
2023.
It's 20. We're already like, it's 2024.
It's January
Anyways,
6th.
getting back to answering Mac's question.
6. Sorry.
I thought today was January 6th. Storm the Capitol, you know?
No, okay, Andrew, going back.
We got a lot of great things to talk about right now.
We're not storming any capitals.
Right before CIM, Yost put that in his pre-race log. He was like, Capitol looks great for storming tomorrow, because we joked about that. We were like, that's what we're going to do post-race. Anywho, no, my freshman year in college, this is just kind of like a stupid thing that I regretted. I was at a party, and I ended up making out with this one girl who was like in a relationship.
We've all been there.
And we've all been.
But and then like her boyfriend was like a guy in the track team.
Was he also at the party?
No, he wasn't there.
Did he find out?
He did, but I
Did he
don't think
whoop your ass?
he didn't. But he could have, because he was like
His face.
he could have.
The
And I
eyes
was
got so
genuinely
big.
concerned that he was going to.
Were you guys both drunk?
Yeah.
And you were just like, now's my moment.
That wasn't. I don't even think it was.
Did
like
you feel
that.
a boob?
I didn't do
Do
that.
you really want those details?
My parents are going to listen to this, Mac. You know they will listen to this, and they will be sending you.
I
a
also
strongly
don't
worded
want
email.
that because I don't want those details because
Am I too pure for you?
no, but it's not terrible for me to say that you're like my brother.
Yeah.
Wow, I got brothers out.
Oh, no.
No, I know. I was like, hey, at least I didn't say little brother. I just
that
said
would be worse. That would
Yeah.
be worse.
There's
Okay.
friend zone. Then
Still-
there's
still
the
bad.
I'm like the I
what
feel
if I
like
said cousin? Does that make
Cousin?
it worse or better?
somehow worse.
depending where you are in the South.
Justin's more like a cousin.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
my proximity to this household is like, you know, in The Sound of Music, like there's like the big family lives in that big house.
Yeah.
And then there's that one uncle who'll just show up and be like, I'm here, I'm part of the family, and just like
Oh, yeah.
kind of that's me
I
basically.
think
I'll
you're
come
thinking
in.
of like National Lampoon Christmas Vacation.
That could also
that
be it
guy,
too.
Randy.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
of.
yeah. That could also be me.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I would say that was the worst thing I did. That was just a stupid decision.
Yeah.
That wasn't too
I
bad.
mean, that's not that terrible.
Yeah. It was,
Neither of you
it was
guys had
a
really
shame.
anything juicy to add to my life. Just kidding.
No, this is not going to be a Caro episode,
That,
unfortunately.
that's just the first one that
Carrots
I
and-
could think of.
Yeah.
Have you broken up with anybody over text?
In 7th grade, probably.
And it doesn't count. Your
Um,
relationship
no.
only counts if you have a driver's license.
That's fair. But some people still don't have driver's licenses, and they're like, Paul, you was just spilled.
That man is a heavy pour right there.
Yeah.
Every pour.
So, Andrew, you are obviously social media manager for Hillary Clinton.
LinkedIn.
How do you combat the
Hillary
January
Clinton.
6th?
Yeah. Tell us how
6th
you handled the
allegations?
storming the Capitol as her Instagram manager. Why are you licking your lips?
No
He's trying
comment.
to come up with the
So
best
aggressive.
possible reply that doesn't get him fired.
Yeah.
Don't get fired.
Actually, I wouldn't say anything. Just say no comment.
No comment. That's honestly the best comment. Oh, he's really thinking.
I'm thankful.
Grateful, thankful. And then, Justin, you're actually leaving us.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the
When
hell?
do you leave?
I just got my start date the other day.
Ooh.
And tell everyone why you're leaving.
Yeah.
So
Butthead.
I currently work. I'm a registered dietitian. I work in a hospital, and I see people inpatient and outpatient, but I only work part time. So I was kind of looking around, just seeing what other jobs I could do, what was going to work, and I almost took another job here, but it would have been part time again. And I was like, I really want a full time job.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking around. Like a couple of my friends, they live in Flagstaff, and he was like, you should move to Flag. And I was like,
Great
you don't
training.
have to convince me. I really want to be there.
Right.
So I was on Google just looking at jobs, and I was like, oh, this one, it took me 20 seconds to apply for it. So I applied.
Yeah.
Got a call back from like a recruiter, the whole shebang. And within a week, they had sent me a contract. And
See,
it's
I-
doing the same exact thing that I'm doing right now,
Nice.
but
Full-time
full-time
contract, yeah.
in Arizona.
Oh, I thought you were going to like Phoenix. So you're going to Flag.
I'm going to Flag.
Are you going to try and weasel your way into like the elite running community there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
Weasel your
found
way.
I found a room to live in, and everybody in the house runs. And I'm like,
Oh.
I get it.
Whoa.
Because the Flagstaff is 7,000 feet, right?
just under 7,000.
Okay.
Which is like the perfect altitude.
It is.
Yeah.
Don't forget
is.
us little people.
Yeah.
Justin's
seriously.
going
I
to come
won't.
back in
What
like
is-
You're coming back for Carmel, and you're going to be at
Yeah, so I'm
altitude
flying. I'm
trainings,
flying back for Carmel.
and you're just going to.
You're
Yeah.
great.
You're going to be like 215 shape.
Yeah.
Well, he's
coming
doing a
back from
half
altitude.
marathon.
Oh, yeah.
So.
it's- Okay.
That would suck.
115.
Respectfully, I
For
am
you.
not shooting for 215. Yeah.
Right.
What is like something like, so as a registered dietitian, what is something that's like changed about your day to day now that you have way more information about like what you should be eating, how you should fuel, all that kind of stuff?
When
Like is
I eat is
Okay.
the biggest thing that I've
Oh.
noticed. I've definitely noticed that, like, especially like eating breakfast. Like, I used to like push off breakfast for a while, but now as soon as I wake up, I eat something.
Really?
and that's what
like,
they teach you to do.
Yeah. So if you don't eat breakfast and you don't kickstart your metabolism, your body is basically in starvation.
Are you not a big proponent on the intermittent fasting then?
I don't care about intermittent fasting. I do not promote it.
Yeah.
Who was because like wasn't like Dr. Oz big on that?
Wow, he's
Yeah.
a scary person.
Well, he's
as
a very
it is.
scary person.
Yeah.
Hey, he does like
think-
promote crudité though.
What is
What
that?
is-
Do you remember when he was running for Senate and he
Yeah, yeah.
he had that video of like he's like, so I'm here at, and he like some Pennsylvania grocery store.
Yeah.
He's like, my wife wants to make a crudité, and which is like the way of saying like a veggie tray, like something like that. And he's like, okay, so we got broccoli here, $7, and he's just like going through like basically
the
complaining about
pricing.
and he's just like, this is Joe Biden's America, and it was just really weird. It was like
Yeah.
filmed on an iPhone. He's like wearing a
Filmed
T-shirt,
on
but
an
it's like
iPhone.
Shot
tucked
on
into his
iPhone.
pants.
Him like trying to go far right wing was really weird.
Dude, but
Not
Johnny
familiar
Johnny
with
Fetts
Mr.
beat him though.
Oz.
Well, he's a
Johnny Fetts
phony
is
doctor.
Yeah.
Don't know who that is either.
John Fetterman. Go.
Yeah.
I don't know
he's
who
the
anyone is in
he's the
pop
sweatpants
culture.
guy, right?
Sweatpants guy. Yeah.
Sweatpants?
He dresses like me to.
Yeah.
He's just like us for real, dude.
Yeah, he's just like me for real.
Oh, the Real Housewives.
Real Housewives.
I wonder what it would be like if they made like a Real House Husbands.
Oh.
They wouldn't
Probably
do
just a lot of miscommunication.
You guys would not be very
And-
fun.
No.
we would do nothing. We would
Yeah.
sit.
You guys have no
You'd
drama.
sit and yeah.
You can't give men access to unlimited time. It's just gonna be a lot of video games.
Video
That's
games,
actually true. Like,
In
Like
my
video
free,
games,
in
we
my
would
free
create a
time, I do-
podcast.
Yeah.
The men,
Yes.
the housewife, the house husbands would create a
Yeah.
podcast
no,
for the time that we
we'd
had.
have to send you guys to Maine. It'd be the Real House Husbands of Maine.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hey, so did I tell you guys that I've added
How
on to
has
my
this
list
not
of
been?
scams?
How is this not? Have you discussed this
scam?
on the podcast before?
Maine?
Not
yeah.
yet.
Okay, I thought-
Maybe though.
Can I add something to your list of scams
Yeah.
before you keep going?
Well, do you want me to name my 5 that I have right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
First-
I'd like to add one.
Yeah.
PCP, primary care physicians.
Oh, yes.
Second,
I thought she meant
dentist.
angel dust.
I don't even know what that is. Second, angel dust. Second is dentist.
Dentist. Okay.
Third.
So medical.
Third is mattress stores.
Yeah, those are fronts.
4, Helen Keller.
Okay.
course.
We've known that.
Yes.
And we discovered the 5th last night, but I can't remember what it was. 5th was something else was a scam. Someone was like, "Please add this,"
Oh, you're right.
and I don't remember what it was.
What was Justin's? He can be number 5.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah.
what was yours?
The carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah, that's
Eating
a scam.
only meat?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
How
a
do you
scam.
get away
Only
with
meat.
that?
It's you just eat so much meat. I've seen videos of people.
Can you eat
eating-
anything else?
Liver King kind
Yeah,
of
like
thing?
Liver King.
Yeah, but what
type
if you
eat.
want a donut? Does it have to be a meat
No,
donut?
you can't have it.
Can't have it.
Can't have it.
What do they think that the benefits of that is?
Go. You tell him, Justin.
You think that you can get everything from fat and protein?
No
Essentially, your
clue.
body can.
Isn't that just like what is that?
metabolize
Keto?
it and can convert it to somewhat. Yeah, it's very keto-esque.
Okay.
Your body can convert like protein and fats to carbohydrates, but it takes a ton of energy, and it's really hard on your liver, really hard on your kidneys,
I bet.
and over time you just waste away and you develop cancer so fast.
I bet.
It's so bad.
So
for
much
you.
saturated fat.
Yeah.
No fiber.
And it's
no
also like
fiber.
it's not like
No
these people are
fiber.
going out and killing their own animals. They're
No, no,
buying
no.
it
They're
with
buying
hormones
it.
and like
They'll
Costco
claim
events.
like, oh, it
Yeah.
helped reverse my autoimmune disease and blah blah blah. I'm like,
No, it
bro,
didn't. No, it didn't.
no.
helped reverse my autoimmune
No, it
disease.
I was giving a
Helps me be an alpha male.
dude.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time it is men doing this.
I saw a
Yeah.
woman doing it on Instagram.
Oh,
like
okay.
a
Jordan
carnivore
Peterson's-
diet influencer.
Jordan Peterson's daughter, maybe. I don't know.
No, but she was just like saying like, "Oh, if you miss tortillas on the carnivore diet, just make this." And she had like some kind of pork
Ew.
thing and like grinded it up and like seared it on a
Oh my
pan,
gosh, I want to throw up.
and then made
You
it
can't
into
even
a
go out to
tortilla.
eat,
You can't do
really.
anything,
Well, it's like Outback.
and it's disgusting.
Oh, Long John Silver's was
Long
the
John
other.
Silver's was
Oh,
the scam.
Long
Yeah.
John Silver's
Because they
is the
only
fifth
they
scam, too,
only
6.
get their money
Okay.
during Lent.
but not even. Also,
Oh,
do
okay,
you think
yeah.
that people on the internet, like this girl who's saying that she is on this carnivore diet, I wonder if she actually is. Like
That's
just
what
from
I'm
I've been
saying.
watching Catfish.
Yeah.
You know, because who doesn't watch Catfish?
Nobody.
Okay, well, whatever. I've been watching Catfish.
You've never seen the movie, at least?
Oh,
yeah, the
no, I
movie's on
haven't.
Netflix.
They have Catfish the movie.
Yeah,
That
that's
was how it all started.
Catfish
I
started.
didn't know that.
It was
Oh, I
because
didn't.
Neve
They
got
go to the
catfished.
UP.
Yeah,
What?
it's in a lot of Michigan is Catfish Central.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Like it is the
Dude, I didn't know that.
cornucopia.
we
What is it
bored
called?
out here.
Cornucopia. Cornucopia.
Yeah.
yeah.
Catfishes. Which no, but this girl was like being catfished by another girl because that woman on Instagram was saying that she was polyamorous, basically in a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah.
And then when this girl finally met up with the polyamorous woman, she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not. Like I just put that on there because it's a niche, and people on Instagram will like." Basically, she's like, "I got a huge following because people love it."
Oh.
But she's like, "We're not. Like me and my
Wow.
boyfriend are actually
it's
engaged
like
and not actually."
So it's like the carnivore diet where you like behind the scenes they're
Eating bread and
Right.
carbs, you know,
Bananas.
but online that's just like their,
Veggies.
you know, that's
Yeah.
their thing is like they post only their carnivore stuff. I mean, it takes 5 minutes to post or to make a little
Yeah.
video saying, "Yeah, I made tortillas out of pork." Yeah.
I ate 7 hard over easy eggs over
Nice.
steak fillets.
Oh wait, you can have that.
What do you mean?
Me?
So you can have.
You can have eggs on the
You
carnivore
just
diet.
can't have milk or butter or cheese.
I
No,
think
you
they
do.
can.
It's like all like animal products.
animal. Only.
Oh, so you just can't have like potatoes.
Like, you know how there's plant based,
Yeah.
animal based.
Opposite.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's like, do you remember in Parks and Rec where he's like, I'm having turf and turf. It's like
yeah.
steak and then another steak on top of that, and I'm gonna have some whiskey because I'm a man or something like that.
As a man, why are you eating vegetables?
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah, we both like Paul and his vegan diet.
Yeah, in like the registered dietitian world realm, are the influencers kind of not frowned upon?
The
but
worst people.
Okay.
They're the worst people ever.
Yeah.
I feel
Us
like they're the
dietitians
worst
hate
people
them.
in like any realm.
Yeah.
Like
well,
the influencer RDs, you're saying?
Or
Not
no.
influencer RDs, like influencer, like just people who like do these diets or like
Food
these training
coaches.
plans and stuff like
Or
that.
the foodie people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like foodie
They're
people.
like, "Look what I
There was
made."
someone on Twitter and they said, "Oh, are you having a hard time losing that extra belly fat? Like, get on my training program. My client lost 20 pounds in 30 days, which
Ooh.
if you lose 20 pounds in 30 days, that is textbook malnutrition. Like,
Yeah.
literally, that's an indicator that you're malnourished."
Yeah.
And so I quoted the tweet and I said, "This is a textbook indicator for malnourishment, by the way."
Yeah.
Did he respond to you?
No.
Probably got blocked. Probably
It was,
got
No,
it was
you're like-
the tweet that I quoted was literally an ad.
Okay, just kidding. So it wasn't like some guy actually, you know,
It
out
was
there.
a dude, but it said ad. So he was trying to get his business out there.
Do you see a lot of within like your RD classes and as you were becoming an RD and even like in the industry, do you see a lot of like women who have eating disorders, like who are going and becoming RDs? Because I feel like I've noticed that online, a lot of women who have either are currently struggling with an eating disorder or did at one point have gone into becoming a registered dietitian.
Yeah, I have seen that quite a bit.
And sometimes I feel like it's even like masks that they still have some issues with that.
Most of the time, not necessarily masks it. They do. How do I say this? I can kind of compare it to how I became a registered dietitian because I have celiac and I can't have gluten. And it ruined some of my sports seasons for me, and I didn't want somebody else to go through that. So I would imagine another RD who is battling with an eating disorder, they now have a better idea of how to handle it. They have this personal story, and they can bring that to the table and to show their clients, like, if I can succeed, then you can too.
Yeah.
And that's how they go about it. I haven't really seen so much of like RD like having an
Actually
eating disorder.
struggling.
Yeah, like once they like go through school and whatnot, they know like sources of how to help, and it's not necessarily like helping themselves. Like even I can't help myself so much. I need someone else to hold me accountable, like a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this is like a weird tie-in, but like one of my like favorite like music reviewers on like Pitchfork is his like, so obviously he's like an editor at Pitchfork, but like his other job is he's a registered dietitian. And he like works in eating disorder treatment.
Yeah.
And it was because like he talked about like he was never like diagnosed, but like in his high school years he was like, yeah, I definitely had eating disorder issues. So it's like I think that definitely probably contributes to that.
Yeah.
Being around, like knowing, like you said, like they know that it can work for them and they can like kind of see both sides of the situation, especially like the intensity of working in like an eating disorder specific
that
unit.
environment
It's just,
is really, really intense. Super intense.
oh my gosh, I wouldn't wish that on like my worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know,
They're scary.
it's so scary.
When I was in high school, like after I learned about like criteria for eating disorders, I look back on myself in high school and I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah, that kind of fits.
Whoa.
Well, it's such a self-conscious
It wasn't
time.
like
Yeah.
I wasn't crippled by it. Like
Right.
I didn't even recognize it when I was back then. Like I didn't really mean anything.
Was
to
it
me then.
because of the celiacs kind of thing, or was it like?
It was no. It
sports?
was more so because it was like a body dysmorphia thing.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And I didn't even know what body dysmorphia was until one of my friends actually brought it up, and he said, "Yeah, I've got like body dysmorphia," and I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what dysmorphia means. I'm really bad with words.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not an English major. I don't know why. I'm really
Not an
bad at
English
big words. Like,
major.
if
you do the words good.
yeah. So, but when he started explaining this, I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And I would like go through pictures on my Instagram and stuff like that. And I was like,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I do feel like just in general, like men and anything relating to, because I guess eating disorders, I would tie that into a mental health disorder or mental health issues. Obviously,
100%, yeah.
I feel like it's not talked about a ton with men. Like it's not as women. I think I told both of you guys this one time, but I watched this show or some sort of documentary, something, and this guy's like, yeah, I do, I talk to big groups. Camera just died.
Keep going.
I talked to big groups of people, and I asked all the women in the room, like, how often do you vent? Like, would you say that you vent probably once a day to at least your friends or something like that? And all the women raise their hands. They're like, yes, I vent about X, Y, and Z. I talk about my mental health issues. I talk about my boyfriend. I talk about how I'm annoyed and all this stuff. And then he said, okay, men, how often would you say maybe once a month you talk about your thoughts and feelings and like vent to someone? And like some people raise their hands. And he was like, okay, out of the people who raised your hands, how many of you are in a church group? And that's where you're forced to kind of talk about your feelings and issues. And they all were like, yeah. And I thought that was really interesting because I was like, all the women like couldn't. Another question he asked is like, what if you couldn't? And all the women were like, oh, I would die. Like I would kill myself, basically is what they said.
Wow.
And he was trying to prove, I think he was some sort of scientist or doctor, but he was trying to prove or like make a point that like suicide rates in men are so high. And like this can be partially like attributed to the fact that they don't have like an outlet like women do. Like they don't get to talk about their feelings. They don't get to talk about like mental health issues. They don't like get together with their guy friends and be like, I need advice, or I'm really struggling with this, or like, oh, I'm so stressed out, or like be sad openly kind of thing.
I was talking about that because I think that really came to like, that really came to the forefront that the whole discussion did, especially during the pandemic, because that was a time where like I think guys could very much be quiet and like, I mean, not much happened at that point. And like a lot of people, I mean, the pandemic exacerbated like so many aspects of mental health issues in this country that like, I think, especially, I mean, for a vast different types of population, but I know like for kids that were in school and then also just for people that were younger and just like not having social contact, I think that was like, so I wouldn't be surprised. I know like it was rates of depression were very high in men, resulting from not having a lot of like other men to vent to. I just like, I was actually telling this story today. Like I felt so lucky because during the pandemic, like all my college friends, we started this basically Friday nights would come around and we were like, we just decided to do like a Skype call one night just to check in on each other, see how we were doing. And then because we had nothing else to do, we began to do it like every Friday.
Nice.
And to this day, we still do a call every Friday. Even like, you know, some of us now that we're living in like a non-pandemic world, like some of us will have something going on, but there will be a call like pretty much every Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
And like,
cool.
it was so like, I feel like it kind of, this is going to sound very dramatic, but like it saved all of us.
Gives you something to look forward to.
It gave us something to look forward to, but I think we were each going through it in very different ways during that time. So it just gave us, I think each of us kind of had a moment, and we each had like one call where we just kind of just broke down and just kind of like went in about something.
Were you guys alone during the pandemic, or were you with somebody?
I was at my parents'.
Oh, nice.
I had a roommate.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It was my junior year of college.
Oh.
Wow.
When it happened. Yeah.
So we were talking to Carol about this because she was in school during the pandemic in 2020. She's like, dude, I was able to she was able to go through classes so much faster because of online. So she graduated, she said, in like 3 years, right?
Yeah,
I think so. I was like, dude, that's actually kind of tight.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pandemic in school it ruined me from a mental health aspect. Like, I was
of course.
definitely depressed and just
Sure.
felt really lonely. And I learned then, I was like, during the pandemic, I was like, I can't live alone. Like, I need a roommate. Like, I don't think I'd be able to do it now. After living in a post-pandemic world for about 2 years now,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can live alone.
That's so interesting because I feel like pandemic wise, I wasn't really like affected a ton when it came to like mental health and things of that sorts. But I also
Rub it in, why don't you?
no.
Nice.
No, I mean, I think my job didn't change much. Like I was already remote.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine.
Yeah.
So like I didn't have a huge like, oh my gosh, now I suddenly don't see people day to day because I already was used to every day working my 8 to 5 job in a little room in my house.
Yeah.
I also lived with my significant other at the time.
Yeah.
And I lived a mile away from my parents. And they didn't have any health concerns where like they were like in that inner, you know, you like created your little bubble, inner circle. So I didn't really have as much change for me. I mean, it was weird, obviously not going to stores and stuff like that, but I took on house projects. And then I also had a full gym in my basement. So I feel like I weirdly was already adapted to like having everything be in my home.
Yeah, you were like you were pandemic ready.
Yeah, like I was just already ready
You're
for
bomb
it.
shelter.
You're ready for the next one.
Yeah,
you
but
had
I-
the bomb shelter
Honestly.
ready
Right.
to go.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there is such a difference between like where I was in my life. I had graduated from college. I was 3 years out of college. But I imagine like for people who were in college or people who worked full time like out of the house or lost their jobs during that time, how much different it would be. Like for that.
I feel like the pandemic like set me back
Really?
like a few years. Yeah.
Like-
just like from a mental health standpoint.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I feel like I just got stagnant.
Yeah.
Like there was like I look back, it's like, man, there's things I could have been doing to maybe
know, me
like
too.
like just to have learned this or to have like
Yeah.
made some plans to do this, and I just didn't during that
Well-
time, and I just like
I felt like everything was on standby though.
Yeah.
Like
Everything
you
was.
could,
I read
what
that.
could you do?
I
Yeah.
read that and someone said you need to be patient with yourself in 2024 and 2023 because you have to think about we spent so much time in this pandemic that like you lost that time in that age. So really when we got out of the pandemic, you might have aged 2 years maybe at that point.
Yeah.
But like you really are still at a mental capacity of the age you went into the pandemic as because of the fact that like you didn't get the social interaction, you didn't get the life experiences.
Yeah,
Some
I completely
people,
agree
you know.
with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do think back to some days I'm like, what the hell was I doing?
I do wonder that.
Oh,
Wait,
I was
what were
rotting.
all those hours doing?
I built a bathroom.
You built a bathroom?
Cool,
I
cool.
cried.
I cried in my bathroom. Like awesome. Man.
I cried in my
I
bathroom.
did Duolingo for a while, like trying to learn
Yeah.
French, and then
Whoa.
I just got bored.
I know some
I
people that
cooked a
still
lot.
do Duolingo.
Oh, jeez.
Duolingo.
I made a lot of
They
banana
have a great
bread.
Twitter. The Duolingo
Yeah.
verse Twitter is
Yeah,
one of my
yeah.
favorite things.
Yeah.
I think
can
everyone's gonna,
can
like,
we
look back.
Never report to Twitter as X.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's always Twitter.
Yeah, it's gonna be Twitter.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's actually weird because Twitter is one of my like someone that I've worked with, and they still go by Twitter though in a lot of things.
really?
Yeah, and they still
Yeah.
use
I
tweets.
mean, come on, yeah.
And they tweet. I mean, it's just weird, but yeah, I kind of like Twitter. I like Reddit though. I'm not a big Reddit girl now.
Yeah, big
No.
Reddit.
Doom scroll.
Doom scroll.
Is that what that's called?
What subreddits do you lurk the most?
Running
Okay,
snarks.
Loki. No, yeah, I do. No, it's not running snark.
It's advanced r/advanced running.
No, I
Oh.
do. I am part of that, and
I'm
I
part of
found
that, too.
Chris's.
Yeah.
But no, he,
It's not hard to find.
But I
He does
know-
some stellar race recaps.
He does actually, and he gives good advice. I liked one of his
He's a
advice
great
columns.
dude.
I read it. Although every time I reach out
One
to
of
him
my
on
favorite
Instagram, he does not respond. To me.
Damn. He's
I'm
One
big.
of these
He's
days,
big now. He's big.
one of these
I know, he's way
days,
too big for
I am
me.
going to,
You said you want to lock us in a room.
yes, I'm
But
going to lock
here's
you
the
two in a
thing.
room, and you two are just going to like become friends.
He puts a lot of stuff out on social media that I think is really awesome, and I always respond to it, but I just don't really get much back, which is fine. I appreciate it from afar. But I spend a lot of time on the Reddits
You two will be friends.
that are like honestly TV shows. Like I like to read the TV show
Yeah,
ones. But I do. There's like one that's it's called Blog Snark.
Yeah.
And they like divide all the different like categories of social media, like TikToking,
Instagram.
TikTokers, like health and wellness influencers, like
yeah.
foodie influencers, and you can go and read snark on those specific kinds of people.
Oh, yeah.
and
What
I like
is-
the running ones.
What is snark?
Yeah.
Well, I according to this Reddit subreddit, it's like
Shit talk.
shit talking
Got it.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
But-
yeah. I think for
It's like Let's Run, but
It is. I was
It
gonna
is
say
like
it's like
Let's
Let's
Run.
Run.
Dude, Let's Run
But for
is
social
like
media.
Let's Run is unironically so funny.
Yeah. Someone. I mean, we.
Bryce.
Describe what that is.
So Let's Run is basically. It started out. I mean, it's like these two twin brothers who are coaches started this website, and it's like part news website. They write articles about like so they'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, predictions for the Olympic trials. They have like a podcast
And for like
stuff.
college levels too.
It's
like
still
so and so is
around?
gonna do yeah.
college.
still around.
And like predictions.
It doesn't
for the
get as
different
much
divisions.
snark to it, but
But I would say what most people know it for is their discussion forum, which I mean, it can range from
it's like who's gonna do this well at D2 NC.
Yeah, it can be
AI.
that.
NAIA transfer portal.
Yeah.
it could be NAI
discussions.
transfer portal or like why are vaccines a scam? Like it's something like it's literally
Reddit, but
it's
like-
kind of a cesspool in some ways. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and there's not much moderation for it. So like some
course.
genuinely some like terrible
That's-
comments and stuff. Can
That's
be
like when we
lurk on there.
asked Bryce, like, what's the worst thing someone's written on Let's Run? Well, Andrew asked it, and he said
Yeah.
that I'm a meatball.
Yeah.
That I look like a meatball. I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Bryce could probably beat them up now. Whoever said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Bryce is
Um,
jacked.
Yeah, we never had. Our coach was adamant that we did not go on Let's Run,
Oh.
even though like there would occasionally be some like.
Have you searched yourself now?
The only time I've been ever mentioned on Let's Run was literally just like, we'll see how Albion does next year, considering this person, and Andrew Wittland also graduated. Literally, my name was just mentioned in passing. I feel I'm not good enough to be like shit talk.
See, like, no, but that's the thing. I look on the running influencer ones, and I search my name because I'm like, once I've made it onto like snark sites,
Right.
I have made it. I don't care if I've got one follower.
Yeah.
If you talk shit about me on the internet, I'm the ultimate winner.
So annoying.
The day after CIM, a certain friend of mine went in on Let's Run about Seth James D'Amour.
I don't know who that is.
He's this guy who was doing these daily vlogs for a while. He lives in Colorado. He's like in his 40s, but he's a lot of talk, not a lot of results. And so he tried to OTQ at CIM.
How short did he fall?
He was not there at halfway. And so and one of my friends, like the same friend, had a pretty bad interaction with him. He was like trying at a local road race, and he was like trying to like be all like act like a celebrity. And my friend this friend doesn't always shit talk, but he went in, he drank the punch a little bit, and really I not too long ago I had the screenshot of it. I read like what he wrote about Seth, and I was just like, that was good, because that man was like trying to talk about like, oh, it was so hilly on that course, and it's like, dude, running is your job.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Be prepared for that. And if you're blaming the hills on CIM, you just weren't ready.
Yeah.
But also, like, from someone who, I mean, I haven't run a lot of hilly marathons per se, but I ran Chicago, which is flatter than hell, and I didn't like it.
I kind of liked it.
I thought it was too flat.
Chicago was a great time. I don't think there's anything that's too flat.
I felt like it hurt. Like, compared to all my other marathons, I felt like it didn't, like, once I started feeling pain, usually the pain will shift to a different place, or like you have like the pain of like working hard versus like flat. It felt like I didn't use some of the muscles that I had from running hills. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, because I also ran Chicago, and I felt horrible until the very end where you go
got that
up
little
that
hill.
Same. And I was like, I'm gonna die. And as soon as I hit
felt
the
like
hill,
a little pickup. I was like,
as soon as I hit the
ooh.
hill, I'm like, oh, I actually have more gas than
It's just like in a different place than I was accessing.
Yeah.
Speaking of snark, did you guys see Max Instagram yesterday with all the running icks?
A lot of people tuned in on that. A lot of people voiced their opinions.
Oh, do you have a list of them? I want to go through some of these.
Yeah. I do.
They're still up.
Well, I'm pulling them up. What would you guys do if you had one day left to live? What would you do first?
That's
go for a run.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah. Would you do simple things? Because I mean, or would you like?
It's only one day.
You have one day left to live. I'm not talking about what would you do all day. What would the first thing you do? So you wake up, you already knew you had one day to live.
Go for a run.
Yeah.
Really? If you had one day left to live,
I would go for a run and spend the rest of the day with my family.
Yeah.
Aww.
There was like Austin, like a common tweet that goes around, and it's like the world getting hit by like a giant asteroid, and it's like, what are you doing in this situation? And I'm like, going for a run. Like, there's no way you're gonna get out of it. Like, just go do what you normally do.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything.
Nope.
Oh,
man,
they're all down. They're all went away. Man.
No, I can find them because I have the archive.
She has the archives.
I'll read you some of them, and you guys, we can.
Yeah, I also have some questions.
Well, you wrote one in, but I didn't understand what it meant.
Which one showed it to me? Oh yeah, that we won't talk.
She,
cover that one.
She did get one that said people who I'm not going to name names, but they said people who list running icks.
Oh yeah, so someone responded to my ick list and was like, my ick is when people have icks. Just let people enjoy things.
It's like, bro, we're just having fun.
And I understand, like, I don't
know if the camera's still on, but
it is.
Oh, fuck.
But it has not been working very well. I understand what they're trying to do. Like people should be able to like the things they like, but like at the same time, like, they're funny. I was dying laughing at some of these. Like, the tea was spilt.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people.
The internet is cringy.
Don't be too.
Yeah.
Woke.
The internet is cringy. All right,
but the internet is amazing.
I think
it's all things, but if nothing else, it's cringy.
It's cringy,
and it is cringy. And the thing is, like, cringy works. Like, it works. Like, people on the internet are pushing things, or people in the industry of running, in the industry of anything, are pushing things that are cringy because it's like gonna get them clout, and it's clickbait. Like, that's just how it's marketing. It's 101 advertising and marketing. Like, you know. Okay,
give us one.
Here, I'll take one. Someone said, honestly, my current ick is heart rate obsession. I'm over it, bro. I just want to run and rot.
Yeah.
I was talking about this.
A lot of people said heart rate zones.
Well, because heart rate is like, I've just never gone off heart rate that
I've
much.
never really trained that way,
because
yeah.
watches are so
Finicky.
Yeah, finicky with heart rate.
I feel like, you're a good example of this. I always tell people this. Every good runner that I know, I'm not saying they're like, running all their runs like super, super freaking hard and their heart rate's at like 300, but they kind of don't pay attention to it because they go based off effort. And like, if your heart rate is 300, you're going to know. Like, you're going to be dead.
There really
but like,
is.
you'll know if you're running too hard and your heart rate's going to be high. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's already too many numbers in running to attach yourself and get over obsessed with. Heart rate doesn't need to be one of them.
No.
I don't know. Of all the coaches I've had in my career, none have preached heart rate to me.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I just think like it's that's
Bryce
all
puts
I
in
got.
Bryce always says like RPE or what is it called? RPE, is that what it's called?
Rate per effort.
Maybe
Something
he gives me some other effort rate conversion sometimes to race at, or not race at, but run at.
Yeah.
But he's never like, I want your heart rate to be about this. He'll go off on like my race paces and say, for this interval, go at 5K pace or something like that. But there's not really any obsessing over it. I also think that you can get into a trap of like, if you're it turns into an obsession and it's just like an eating disorder. You get obsessed with the numbers. But then also like, I think people confuse like heart rate training with like never running fast, never pushing it a little bit. And then they're like, oh, now I'm good. Like all these people online are telling me I should run at like zone 2 heart rate, but then they run at zone 2 heart rate over and over and over again. And they expect that they're going to go out there and race at like,
some pace they've never ran at.
Yeah. And
What were
it's
you
like,
saying about high school?
So in high school, whenever we were running a workout, or even on an easy run, my coach would often run with us, or he would meet us somewhere on the route and he would say, all right, stop. And he would have us check our heart rate for 10 seconds. And if we were over 15 or if we were over 16 per 10 seconds, so 160 per minute, he was like, all right, you got to take it, like slow it down, like take it easy. And so with heart rate training, I don't care for it in harder efforts and workouts and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think that in easy runs, keeping it below 155 is a good ballpark. That's the only thing I ever do with that.
Ballpark for sure. For sure. Like you don't want to be running like 170 for every single run.
No.
Yeah, it's just it's weird advice, but when you know that you're overdoing it.
The rule of thirds.
Yeah.
Who knows the rules? The rule of thirds.
Yeah, there's a reason that you have paces for workouts and stuff like that, because that's the days where you want to be paying attention to the numbers, the workouts and the long runs and stuff like that. Is because really you just want to get to, I mean, it depends on what you're training for, obviously, but like you just want to get to a pace or a point where you, I mean, if you can train off a certain pace range, like Zach, the big thing with all our speed work is like going off 10K pace. That's like
Zach's
one of our
your coach, right?
Yeah, Zach.
Same. I go off of like 5K, 10K, half marathon pace.
A lot of our speed work is off of 10K pace that he prescribes to like guys like myself, Chris, and Adam, and like that. We had to talk about that, and I like that because I feel like it's a good medium between, at 5K pace. I mean, for someone that does marathons, that's like
so fast.
That's a change of the change of the gears.
Yeah. And some people haven't raced like a 5K in forever, so maybe their 5K is altered, but then marathon cycles.
Yeah, so 10K feels quick, but it also like has some sort of like stability to it. As compared to like doing like half marathon and marathon work, which is like important, obviously.
Yeah.
But 10K is like the meat and potatoes of what you should be doing. At least that's how. I mean, I'm biased because it's worked for me.
But I mean, you're an amazing runner, so that makes sense.
I like that. What's another?
The next one is
very okay.
You're not, but I mean, you're better than okay. Okay. People manipulating their Strava to make them seem faster. Slow life.
Listen, Strava. I'm looking straight at the camera. Strava.
Sorry, I'm also looking.
Is for shit posting.
Yeah.
Strava is for
dropping those diary entries.
Journal entry.
Yeah.
Letting the
credit
weird
to Jesse.
out. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Jesse.
God is life.
Like, yeah, honestly.
Praise God.
Yeah, dude.
Praise God, baby.
Yeah, like I love, dude.
Right.
Jesse Saxton's Strava is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
It's just get weird on Strava.
Yeah.
Don't be. If you gotta get in the feels, you can.
Don't
That's
take
totally
it too
fine.
seriously,
Yeah.
But no. If we're getting like, if we're doing, I don't know.
If you're compromising your run.
Yeah.
And you're training just so you get higher numbers and impressing people on Strava.
Yeah.
You got to work through some stuff on your own. Because
Yeah.
I think that there's something bigger happening there.
A wise man once said, Strava is just a diary for men.
And that was Justin
that?
Desloover.
It was me.
Okay.
I
You
did
said that to
say
me. You said that to me on my last long run.
It's the most
before.
But it was with 2 long runs before CIM.
That's where I get
This
most
is
of my
also
writing
true.
done.
With Strava, my goal is on my easy runs get the least amount of kudos as possible. Like
Nice.
make it so unimpressive that
9:28 pace.
like just dart slow
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have my title and like my description be close to nothing. Like
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
my easy runs last week was January 1st. I was like, I should have been born on January the 1st, and that's a line from Young Thug, and that was all
Young
my
Thug.
description
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
this makes a lot more sense
Give
because
'em
sometimes
nothing.
Paul and I are like, what in the heck is Justin putting as his Strava titles?
Justin
Because
will
we
do a
never
lot of-
understand
I'll
it.
understand a lot of what you're doing.
Yeah, you and Andrew, it's sometimes like, whoa, this is
The next one we have
inside.
is when people perpetuate the idea that run clubs are the new place to find their husband or wife.
yeah, don't do
Whoa.
that. Don't do that.
I found
Let
my
the people-
wife. Just kidding.
It's messed up. That was
Dude.
messed
My
up.
bad, y'all.
But seriously, like,
Imagine having love. You know.
Damn, Andrew.
wait, Justin is in a
Andrew's in a
relationship.
sad boy.
Oh, just-
So
I'm in a
here's the
relationship, but-
thing: is it's kind of can go both ways, right? Like we're adults, we don't meet people very easily if you're not
Right.
on a dating app. Like I understand,
Mm-hmm.
by chance you meet someone at a run club, you click, you ask them out, it works. But like, don't go there with the intention of like I'm here to meet women or men.
Yeah.
Like
That's so
Yeah.
It becomes
sleazy.
Yeah.
it becomes painfully obvious
It
when you're doing that.
does.
Yeah.
And we know a few that we've seen.
Personally, I don't.
No, okay.
I don't pay attention.
personally, you don't go there to pick up women. Or
No.
like,
Personally, I don't see.
doesn't. I was
gonna say,
people-
I'm
I also
gonna tell your
don't go
girlfriend.
to pick up women.
I'll give you
No.
a few off camera.
It's
behind
like
the
yeah, I
scenes.
know. It's like it's if you meet someone that you want to go on a date. Like I've gone on dates with girls from
Yeah.
Run Club before, and it's like. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. I'll see you next week at Run Club. It's like I don't know. Like it really depends on like
See if
I
it'll
feel
work
like
out.
it depends on your
Yeah.
level of maturity too. Because it's like
Yeah.
if you go there like with the intention of like I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
see, that's the difference. Is you're not going in
Yeah.
and being like, okay, which one of y'all are gonna click with me because I'm gonna date you. You're
Yeah,
like,
who's
you're
coming
going
home with
in
me?
and you're just doing the run clubs because you like the run clubs, you like the people there, and by chance, if you meet a woman that you find attractive and you click with, you can ask
Cool.
them out if it's
Yeah.
okay and like not creepy and like
yeah.
Because
Because I feel like that I feel like that should probably be a basic code. Like
Mm-hmm.
women don't like being approached at gyms. They probably don't like being approached on runs either.
low key they
Women
don't like being approached
being
ever.
They don't like being DM'd on Strava.
No.
Oh,
Strava
I haven't
DMs
tried that.
wild.
Strava DMs out.
That's an ick, but that
They're
was not.
out,
I can't believe no one said that.
Because it's so new.
yeah, but
it's
people.
so new.
Someone told me the other day. Who was it? They were like, "Oh yeah, so and so DM'd me on Strava." I was like, "Wait, people
Justin
are using
DM.
that?"
Justin was my first DM on
Yeah.
Strava.
Paul was
Like,
mine. He said, "What is this?"
No,
or
I
something like
just
that.
Did I? Oh,
I was
okay.
You said
literally
something.
typing to Andrew, and he typed before I could even get it off. He said, "Guess what? Chicken butt."
Yeah, I was sitting on the couch
Oh,
with Yost
God.
at CIM. We were just marveling at the horrors.
Yeah.
That it was
of-
gonna cause.
Yeah, we were like, well, yesterday was the last good day of running that we had beer. So,
else you
so
got?
glad you went out on top, Yost.
Someone else said, glorifying doing tons of races without the proper build up for them. It does not
Yeah.
mean you're tough.
Hate that.
Yeah.
I
Hate
also
that.
hate that.
I'll say this.
Well,
Is it fun to sandbag sometimes?
yeah.
Totally. Am I
Okay,
guilty
but
of
that's
it?
not the same thing.
But do I want to pay to sandbag?
No,
No.
But
absolutely not.
Also, sandbagging, like, I feel like that's a different vibe than like signing up for races over and over and over again and not having a build up and not doing like,
Like a really loosely structured build up.
or not even doing a
Not
build up
even-
and being like,
yeah.
you know what? I think I'm gonna run a marathon in a month. Fuck it. And then signing up for a marathon and then like acting as though like not like you don't care, but like treating yourself like you don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like, I guess-
it becomes more about image at that point.
Yeah,
Clout.
than
I think
actual-
that
chasing.
I didn't get to put Nick on this list because obviously it was mine, but I would say one of my icks is like doing things whether in a training cycle or not in a training cycle because you think you're gonna look cool. So like running an absurd amount of miles like randomly or like all of a sudden you're just like I'm gonna run a 200-mile week and it's just like out of the blue or like signing up for a
Yeah.
race and not having proper training. And like all of it is just basically for clout. Like you're just doing it because like you think it makes you look cool, or like
Yeah.
you can be like, oh yeah, guess what I did today, and like it's like
You can
no
go to your
because
friends and be like, I just ran.
yeah, and it's
22
like
miles
you
from
actually
home."
one are kind of like making like almost like slapping people who take it seriously in the face, but then two like I'm not gonna feel bad for you if you get injured. I'm
So,
just not.
Here's
Yeah.
another
No.
question for you, kind of in the same realm. So, big races like Chicago and New
Yeah.
York and races like that, a lot of people that get in are in a lotto system.
Yeah.
How do you feel about people who are just running those races like for fun, like to run through the 5 boroughs and run through Chicago and all? Like for me, the whole reason I'm not running Chicago this year, like I applied in the lotto and I could have gotten in, but I wasn't going to make it like my A race. And I'm like, I would rather have somebody else make it their A race and
Nice.
them have the experience of having a good race. And I took my name out.
I don't know. I guess I have mixed feelings on that because I think if you've run it before, I think that that's really a great thing to do. Sorry, a great thing to do by taking your name out and letting someone else have the ability to do it. But I also don't necessarily like rip on people who are like, I'm going to do New York this year, but I might just make it like more of a fun race in the sense of like, not that I'm not trying hard. Like obviously they train or whatever. They do the training cycle, but they might just like not want to go out there
They
and
don't
like,
want to like set a PR.
yeah, they just want to enjoy the ride of being in that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
The world majors, maybe like enjoy, because I tell people all the time during Chicago, I blacked out. Like Paul was asking me, did you see this? Did you see that? And I'm like, no, I was so focused on my A goal that like I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have.
Yeah.
But I also am not going to run it this year for that reason. Like I'm not going to like enter it again and like take someone else's spot who could have done it in the lottery if I entered the lottery or, could got it in qualification, because I've already run it, I guess. I don't know.
We're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I do.
Like give it to somebody else.
I do sometimes get the ick from like influencers who they get a free pass to run it, and it's like, well, people work their butts off in either a lottery system or like training and qualifying for some of these races, like New York, Chicago, Boston, etc. And then you're giving influencers just because they have clout the ability to go run it, and like that kind of feels crappy to people who this is like a really hard thing for them, or they work really, their lives for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like to like encapsulate it all, like what we've been talking about, the whole like Strava like grind set thing. I pulled this up because I found like Scott Fauble, who obviously one of the best marathoners in the US right now. He put this post out 2 weeks after the Boston Marathon, and like for, but he's top American for 3rd time in a row.
Yeah.
7th or 9th? One of the two.
7th or 9th. Was he what?
He was 7th, I think.
It wasn't 3rd time in a row, but you know what I mean. So yeah, but he was top American once again there. And he's like known for being pretty like blunt and like not too flashy, but like he put this down and I thought it was like really like very I don't know what the word is, but like it made a lot. I think it sheds a lot of light on like how people oversaturate the grind. And so he says like, it's been 2 weeks since the Boston Marathon, and I've been wondering what I am proud of about the race and the whole process of training for and running this race. What lessons I did learn, and what do I want to share? Here it is. Not once in the build did I look at the start list. Not once did I try to beat the ghosts of my competitors in practice. Not once did I try to prove anything to anyone but myself and my teammates. Candace Parker had this really smart and insightful quote a couple years ago. You don't have to tell your story. Time will. You don't have to tell your side of the story either. You put your head down, continue to do work, do what's right, be a good person, work hard, give energy, and the world will give back to you. I thought about that a lot in this block, and because I see the irony of writing unprompted words on social media about needing to tell your own story all the time, I'll end this post with just one more thought. Doing the work doesn't have to be a grind. I worked really hard, just as hard as, if not harder than anyone I was out there this spring. But I also think this is the most fun I've had in a block. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I had fun while staying in my own lane. So it's like it's obviously, Scott's his own beast, right? Because he's like one of the best marathoners ever. But I think it just goes to show, like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like there's nothing wrong with like putting yourself out there and like telling your own story. But I think there is something to be said about overdoing it and like romanticizing the lows and like really like kind of undercutting the highs.
I also, from you just reading that kind of, and I haven't heard that or read that before, but like my takeaway, and something that I can relate to, and I feel like other people can, is like I do sometimes have to remind myself when I do see people who might be overexerting themselves or training in ways that like I think they're doing too much, or potentially even just workouts that I do with people who are like going harder than me or able to just go harder than me. I think that like sometimes I have to remind myself like you don't have to like tell them, and you don't have to make it a thing.
No.
Yeah. And I think that like, and you also like can just, like he said, like just keep doing your own thing. You don't have to have like obviously like we do team workouts a lot. The society does. And like I have paces I have to hit. not everyone has the same paces as me, and not all of them are going to like have the same training as I do. And sometimes we'll do the same workout and I'm going to be a little bit behind, but I'm hitting my own paces, and it really bothers me. And I feel like sometimes I need to remind myself that like I'm training for myself and this is my build, and like to stay in my lane, even if that means like keeping my mouth shut and just like working my butt off for my stuff. It doesn't mean like they're going to do worse or better than me in any way, I guess.
Right.
I think, I think that's the other thing too. Is just it goes back to, especially with running, because I think this is a very much a running specific issue. It's the same as like your thing about the workouts. It's like it's the same as if like I don't know, like someone like Justin and I were to go to Lion Street, which Lion Street we love them, they're great. But like I'm like definitely self conscious of like I don't want to like intimidate people. Sometimes when I go to like run clubs, like 'cause I don't want to like the thing I hate the most is like someone's like, oh Andrew, you're so fast, blah blah. 'Cause I don't know. I think speed's relative.
It's so relative.
I don't care. Like if someone is like running fast and you look down upon someone who's running like 3 minutes slower than you, then you're just a jerk. Like I truly think like, okay, if you go out and you like lace up the running shoes and you run, you're a runner. So it's just like it's an easy. The comparison game is so easy to play though. So I understand.
And I feel like
people can get
Strava,
like,
and that's the thing
with
too.
Things like Strava that just make it public, where everybody can see your time, see your heart rate. The whole shebang. It's like, oh, I'm comparing myself to so and so, and it's like,
and you don't even know what's going on behind the scenes when they're whatever people are doing on their Strava.
It's
like
so easy to put up a front.
Yeah, and like this Icks said, like people can manipulate that data really easily, and unless you're paying attention and looking into people's stats and like kind of like being a little sleuth or treating it like it's like Instagram or Facebook, you might not even know that they're manipulating that data. And and I guess to your point too is like I think run clubs can go either way. Like I know that there are a lot of people who are hesitant to come to our run club on Thursdays because they think that we all run super quote unquote fast. And I mean, personally, because we've all been there, we know that our paces range from 10 minutes, sometimes even slower than that, all the way to like some people are, busting out a 7-minute mile, and like that's okay, and we support people no matter what. And like we have the point of obviously our run group and our run club is to provide people with the workout they can do, but also you can come and do your own paces, and like we wait for everyone at the end and whatever. But I think there is like a danger in some of the perception that people have of run clubs, because there are certain run clubs that, like you said, not specifically that one, but just other ones, and like just in general, there are groups of people where like you feel like you might almost be intimidating in a way when like your fast is relative, because like I don't know, it's like
we're like our easy pace is just something that they're not used to. Like,
yeah,
that's their race pace for some people,
and that's fine. Like it doesn't mean like
we're
gonna cheer you on either way.
And they're working hard. Like the people who take like they run 12-minute miles.
They're working just as hard
twice
as
you are because they're out there for twice as long.
Right.
They're still doing the same exact heart rate.
Yeah, and that's why it's relative too, because like my race pace is Andrew's easy pace, but when Andrew's doing his hard pace and I'm doing his easy pace, I'm still working my butt off to my capacity as he is working his butt off to his capacity of his fast pace. Yeah. And like
during our builds, like we were like I was getting in the nitty gritty like towards taper season when he was like, hey, do you want to do a workout with me? And I'm like, absolutely, like let's do it. And I wasn't anywhere close to the paces that he was hitting, and I was like, hey, sorry I couldn't hang with you. He's like, dude, we're running on the same track at the same time. Like it's totally cool. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
No. That's what I tell people about track days. I'm like, it's a circle. Nobody can get lost. Like we're all ending up at the same place.
My favorite part about the track days is that when people who are like up in the front, like when Paul and I were doing our reps and we were up in the front, like when I'm done, just loop back and then just start cheering people on.
And you can't even tell once all the groups at track days start going. It's like, again, it's all a circle. People just kind of blend. Like nobody knows. Like I don't know who's in what group, because I'm like, wait, did our group already go? Because everybody kind of just blends together.
Yeah.
And
but you can't get lost.
Can't get lost.
Give us another ick.
Oh yeah.
What you got? We got sidetracked, but that's all right.
I know. Sorry.
I do have a follow-up question after this ick, though.
Okay, after the ick. This one was actually interesting to me because I'm really on the fence of it. Let me find it because I have to find it. But when people do long runs with just their thoughts, no music, no podcast,
dude,
it seems menacing.
It does.
It's so mean.
Really? You can do that?
So in college, I would literally wake up on Sunday morning, boom, out the door.
It's
no
so
music,
funny.
nothing. I just thought. the
There are
entire
some
time.
good like
Alone.
moments
It's
alone.
crazy.
Yeah, someone like I would remember. I would like so before meets there would be some occasional meets in college where we would get up like if we were going to like Chicago or somewhere like where we would drive over that day and come back that same day. I would get up and do like a 10-minute shakeout run that morning, and it was just like there was always like a lot of like very quiet, calm before the storm energy to that.
Okay,
I
but
love that.
let's remember that they said a long run. I think that changes things,
Long
right?
run?
Like a
that's
long
true.
run.
That's true. I did forget about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a lot.
'Cause,
Long
like, for
runs
some
are
workouts,
tough
I
by
won't.
yourself, man.
Longest
Yeah.
I've done alone, I think, is 6.
Alone with your thoughts.
Okay.
No, I
Along
think
with
it
my
was
thoughts.
Yeah, no headphone, no
17.
podcast.
Okay.
So someone
Long-
else put in there.
The longest I've done is 20, and that was that time that I saw you and Paul
What was
before we
this?
knew before we
Oh,
knew
yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
Yeah, and we saw you rolling.
Yeah, I was 20 by myself, and that was not fun.
No
Where was this at?
podcasting.
No podcast, nothing.
So someone else put, and I'm gonna tie this back into this question. We're staying on this question or this ick. But someone said when people run with a bunch of people, for the purpose of a group run and wear headphones. And I will say this ties into the ick about doing a long run without anything in your ears. When I first showed up to my first run club, I was not really necessarily. I wouldn't have called myself a runner because I probably ran 4 times before that. Seems like. But I showed up and I didn't know that you didn't run in headphones. So I showed up for like a couple months with my headphones, and I always was running with the group runs, and I had my headphones in, and people would try to talk to me, and I was like, why do they keep doing this? I don't understand.
Man.
Because that's just like wasn't. I was
were-
never. I wasn't
Man,
a.
you were on the disrespect levels,
She
man.
didn't know. She
That-
didn't
that's
know.
on
I didn't
par.
know.
That's on par with like drinking PBR out of someone's urn.
But the thing is, like,
Whoa,
I didn't
whoa.
grow up in the running industry. I didn't do track in high school
The
or
industry,
college.
we're business.
Yeah, industry. In the running community. So I didn't know that it wasn't like every time I ran, I always just assumed people put in headphones, and like, that just, so I was like, why is no one wearing headphones? And so I feel like for long runs, though, slowly, now I always do it with the group, but slowly I also have been doing most of my runs, if they're not my easy recovery days, like without headphones.
Yeah.
If I run solo,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm running easy on my own, no music, no nothing.
Savage.
like it.
I'm
Savage.
always raw dog.
Yeah, it's whatever I'm
Really?
feeling.
So I read a book once, and only one time.
Only one
book.
time.
One book.
And he made it a point that when you're running, like, or just in daily life, like nowadays, we're surrounded by so much sound. Like, we get in the car, we listen to music, we go to work, we have something going on in the background. We're just constantly having to have something engage.
Some, like, stimulation of
Something
some
that's
sort,
stimulating
yeah.
us. And he's like, when you're running, that's your time away from it. Like, that's my time away from it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
I listen to a ton of music. I'm on Spotify for
Oh, we see it.
over 130,000 minutes.
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
You hit that last
yeah,
year? Ooh.
I've hit over 143 before.
That was a lot.
But so,
That's
I was hitting over 130 without listening to my music while running.
while we're running, yeah.
The only time I listen to it is when I'm on a treadmill.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
that's
it.
oof.
But if I'm outside, I want to be safe, so I want to hear everything around me.
True.
But I
That's
also,
That's fair.
another
That's
issue
fair.
with
yeah.
it.
But there are headphones that work really well for that, like the Shocks.
or whatever it is, yeah.
Oh,
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed just getting outside and listening to my own thoughts and like touching base with my body and
I have a follow up for all of you
Okay.
based on that question.
okay.
Based on
Do you-
this question in the long
this
run?
this is inspired by a guy in my Discord. Put this. He made a playlist.
Shout out to Discord.
Shout out to Discord for real, dude.
Yeah. It's
a great place.
Shout out to all the
Love it there.
Discord mods out there.
Yeah.
The tip of the fedora, my lady.
Lord.
Am I a mod?
Technically you are, so you can wear the fedora too. Like
Yeah.
I would
masseur,
like to wear a
you know.
beret.
That's called the callback, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so a guy in the Discord made a playlist based on this. I thought it was a really cool idea. Like all songs that are related to core running memories.
Oh,
Or
okay.
running my
I have like
memories.
one or two,
A core running memory
core
for me.
running memory.
So it's
and a song that goes with it. It could be like you were listening to it at the moment,
Yeah.
or just one that like goes with it.
the song. I doubt you guys know this song, but the song
me.
is called "Run" by Ben Queller,
Okay, I don't know.
and
But I usually love things right on the nose. So
and it was in high school. We had a cross country banquet every year, and
Yeah.
our coach would put together a slideshow of all the pictures that we took during the season. And every year, it was the song in the background was "Run" by Ben Queller, and It's
kinda
a
cool.
really sweet song.
I need to listen to that. I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I would work when I lived in Kalamazoo. I would
I'm gonna
get.
text it to you guys so you don't
You
Please
should.
do
forget.
it. Please do it.
I would get off. I would work like a split shift at work, so I'd be off at noon, and almost every time I left the door, I would listen to Arcade Fire's first album.
Funeral.
And yeah.
Fantastic
And
album.
it would just get me absolutely jacked.
I have a hard time listening to Arcade Fire now, but like
Yeah. Did they go?
because
Did they get canceled?
Yeah, well, no, the lead guy, he had like he's got to be like a sex addict or something, but he had like some bad allegations with multiple women, and his wife backed him.
Okay.
Which is very
Backed
weird.
him?
Yeah, she was like
Backed.
backed
Oh,
him as in like
backed
she's like,
him,
oh, yeah, I
okay.
support him throughout all this, even though he had cheated on her. But God, that album is so good.
It's
Oh
really
my
good.
God.
It's
Yeah.
really good, and it's kind of weird in a way. It's like, why is this good? But
Yeah,
it's
it was
just
like
so
it was
good.
like nothing else had like it had
Yeah,
come out
no,
at
you're
that
you're
point.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. 100%.
Mine that I associate with, it's not exactly like a positive one, but like whenever I hear the song, I go back to that moment. It was my junior year of high school. I qualified for states in track, and I qualified in the 3200. So did another one of my teammates, and so did another one of my teammates. It was a girl, and so states that year was at Hausman Field here in Grand
Yeah.
Rapids.
Oh.
It was so hot that day, and as you guys have probably known, there is no shade
There's no
or
shade anywhere
coverage
near there.
So
Yeah.
on the track, it was probably about 100 degrees that day.
Wait, where is this field? What?
It's the one that's
Hausman
locked
Field.
down, literally down the street.
Right down there,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's down the
right
street.
down there.
Oh, yeah.
All things
Okay,
go
okay,
back
okay.
to Hausman Field, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it was so hot that day, and then one of my former high school teammates got us into like like that kind of like circular building. It's like he got us in there when there was like some AC. So it was the four of us because there was a girl who was in the mile too. And like slowly like people left to go do their races, and then it was just the three of us who were in the 3200. And I remember in my headphones I was listening to that song Latch by like Disclosure and Sam Smith. And it was like I was like, oh, this is like a good like low key like chill song.
Oh boy.
And then as I was listening to that song, like my female teammate was just freaking the freak out. Even though she ended up balling out that day, and then my other teammate that was in the race with me started puking.
Well,
in
and
that
so-
all right.
room?
And I'm just in the middle of all this, yeah.
Oh.
And he just like goes into the trash and starts puking, and I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on? That was a
Dude.
weird day of running. He and I both absolutely ate it.
You're in the background while everybody's throwing up.
I've
and
never
crying. It's-
gotten.
She's like jamming.
I've never gotten so nervous I threw up. I don't really even know
Never.
what that is.
Never
Yeah,
for me.
no.
I've never
No.
thrown up from a run before.
That was
Oh,
a
me
weird
either,
day. That was a weird
actually.
day. That was my same high school teammate
I just
who
maybe
tried
I
to
haven't
kill
pushed
me.
myself hard enough.
That could be
No,
it.
if you push yourself to the point of throwing up, it's because you ate something before that makes you throw up.
Oh,
Probably
okay,
something with a
that
ton
makes
of
it-
fat.
that
in
makes you
it.
feel better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
For that
don't-
already tidbit. My song is actually funny because I don't have one, but I do have one because when I was in middle school, I was a cheerleader, obviously, and the gym coach came to me, or gym teacher came to me and was like, "Hey, we don't have anyone who's willing to run the mile for our middle school track meet. Would you be willing to like go out
What?
there?" And I was like, "I don't really know, but I guess." So I went out. I had to skip cheer practice, which I was not happy about.
We used to have to meet criteria to run the mile. You had to be a part of running club in middle school.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It was
really? That's
exclusive,
crazy.
man,
Yeah.
dude.
That
They were
is
gatekeeping running from an early
What?
age.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, well, they did not for me. So I went out on the track and we got to start, and I didn't understand how fast I was supposed to go or how slow. So I picked the slow, the very last girl who went out. I picked her and I ran right next to her, and I didn't go any faster. I didn't go any slower. And I just started going, "I need a double cheeseburger and hold the lettuce. Don't be so in front, no seats on the bum. We go up in this drive.
What is that?
Order for two. I need. We don't know that.
No, is that by somebody? I don't.
It's
from?
like,
What's
it's,
that from?
I don't know, but it was
I know
like a
that,
thing.
but what's it
I'm
from?
Number 9, like my shoe. We need some chicken up in here in this shizzle. For zizzle, my jizzle. It's just all on the grizzle. It's double super size, and don't forget the fries.
I've never heard this shit in my life.
Okay.
I've heard of it
either.
before, but it's like from a TV show, right?
So I don't know. I have
It
no
sounds
idea.
like a parody.
But I
Dude,
sang that.
if one of you listeners can figure
Yeah,
out what it
could you
is, drop
please?
it in the comments.
But let me tell you, I sang that
Drop a
over
link.
and over and over and
On the
over
track.
again. Yeah, that's all I did the
Oh,
whole time. And
man.
I sang it out loud to this girl next to me. And my dad still talks about this day because he's like, "I kept telling you to run faster, but you were just singing and like running with this girl." And then at the end, I saw my friend and I went and jumped on her and I did a back handspring. And
Nice.
and the gym teacher was so mad because he was like, "You didn't even try." So that was my only story of when I was on middle school track and field team for 5 seconds.
Dude.
Okay, I have a follow-up question based on
Alright.
that. I'm doing like, I took a lot of inspiration from Alyssa, and I'm like asking you guys questions now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people keep doing that for some reason.
I raw dogged
Alyssa,
this.
yeah, you raw
I
dogged
always
this.
raw dog it.
Mac, this is solely a Mac question.
Oh, yay.
So
Is it
let's
because
just,
I'm a girl?
you'll see. So, maybe. So let's say hypothetically, you're meeting a guy,
Okay.
and you find out like I think you can
Am I
do this
supposed to
on
pretend that you're the guy?
whatever, but like
Let's go with it.
but yeah.
Okay.
So like,
Zoning
but I think
in.
you can do this on Bumble. You can see like what their top artists are. If
Okay.
you were to see like an artist, like what would be an ick artist for a guy? If like from a
For
girl's
a guy?
perspective,
From
yeah.
a girl's. Well, okay. From a girl's perspective, like, should I go with the masses or should I go with me?
You.
What you or the masses?
Okay. For me, the top. Okay. Actually, I can answer this on two ends.
Taylor Swift.
One, for if it's a girl, Taylor Swift.
Whoa.
We're talking about guys.
You're talking
here.
about
We're talking
guys.
I know, but like,
Men?
or like for the masses, you're saying that. If a guy likes Taylor Swift, then that's like red
just
flag.
for me, any gender, if you like Taylor Swift, if that's like your top artist, I don't know why, but it makes me think.
Based.
You don't think?
I
for
know
yourself.
this is gonna really just get like me fired. I
It
think because
is.
girls love
We
Taylor
have to get a
Swift,
new
and I've been to
host.
a lot of her concerts, and I obviously like I do like her in some resort, but I feel like if you like her, I question if you like her, or if you just started liking her, or if you know what I mean,
So
like
I love the album 1989.
I always liked it in 1989.
1989.
It's a great album.
I
It's
always
really
liked
good.
It's
it.
a great album.
Every other
I
album,
didn't like
like-
the newest
but
one.
like that's
Me
a,
Taylor's
either.
version,
Me
no, it
either.
was not good.
She trashed it.
okay, but
Yeah.
like that's an honest answer. Like you guys being able to be like, yeah, there's some albums that are good and there's some albums that are bad. There's a lot of women who won't. But from a standpoint of a guy, I think if you had your top artist, again, it's going to be kind of a hot take. Drake.
I was yes, I knew it.
It's
I
Drake
knew that.
because
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
pinpointing you as a specific kind of guy. If it's
Yikes.
like Drake and Kanye, I don't know what it is, but if my little brother loves Drake, he does, and I associate. No, I love my little brother. I think he'd be a great boyfriend, and he to like any woman, and he's so sweet. But there's just something about a guy who likes Drake that gives me the ick.
It's like the Drake the type of guy memes. Like
Drake's type of guy to say.
It's just
"Booga
like-
booga sugar."
I don't. Yeah, and
pay
they're
his
like, you
homies
know,
the visit from a tickle monster.
Yeah.
there's just something weird about a guy who likes. If your top artist is Drake, like,
Both of them give off to me that you don't listen to a lot of other music.
yeah,
It tells me that you're lazy and you
Yes.
don't dive into any other
100%.
artists.
Yeah.
100%.
And it also tells me that like you probably just like are a bro, like too broy for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Just too broy.
There-
I don't know.
I will.
I mean, I like some of his songs. 100%.
But, like, I
Drake
wanna-
made "Nice for What."
yeah, that's really
Okay,
good.
yeah, there are some songs that
Yeah.
I will say that like I love Hell Yeah Effin' Right.
Yeah.
I will rap that
She
song
loves his
until
old stuff. I don't
until
really
my
like it.
mouth bleeds.
Take
I
care.
love it.
Take
Yeah.
care is.
But
Yeah.
but let me
A
throw this.
classic.
I also
Yeah.
grew up like listening to that on my way to high school.
Yeah.
But let me throw this back to you guys. Like, what
Okay.
would you say is the girl ick version of it? Like, for if you'd be like,
like if I saw
pass,
a girl on a dating app and,
and
like,
their top artist.
Taylor
I feel-
Swift is a big one.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. It's like I remember having this conversation with my therapist once. Is because
Wait, this specific conversation?
not the specific conversation, but the one about Taylor
Yes.
Swift.
Shout
Because
out to therapy.
I had to shout out to therapy for sure.
Go to it. Everybody needs it,
I
Paul.
had two relationships with two big Swifties, and I remember telling my therapist, I was like, "It would be great if I could just find a girl who hates Taylor Swift. It'd be awesome." I think like I went through a real hate. Like I was like,
But do you want someone to hate anything?
that's a hard thing. But basically, what he told to me was like, because I was going through like a
male
real
therapist?
Taylor Swift hate phase for a while. That my therapist also helped me because it's just like a negative association with like bad memories. But I was like, I just need to find a woman who hates Taylor Swift, and like we can be on the same page with that, and I'll never have to deal with that again. And he goes, so kind of tough to find considering that like
Every girl loves
number
her.
one artist in the
like
world.
it's like finding a girl who doesn't like Taylor Swift is almost like finding like someone who like hates water.
Alyssa McElhaney doesn't like
I
her.
do. I remember she said that.
McElhaney.
But like
McElhaney.
it's I feel like yeah that was the thing. Since
Sorry,
you-
Alyssa. I was not. I didn't.
It wasn't
He wasn't
anything about
hating.
your name. It's
It was
just I
just
can't
a-
pronounce anything.
Yeah. I was making fun of Mac. Not making
she's
fun
not a
of Alyssa.
Swiftie, but she said
I feel like-
Yeah.
her sad song is like
Is one of
Marjorie
Taylor
or
Swift.
something.
Yeah.
Marjorie.
But I think it's a red. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of another artist that like would give me the ick.
I'm sorry. I love Noah Khan, and I'm afraid that people are going to turn him into an
No,
ick.
no, he
Because
won't
I
be.
love
He's great.
him.
He's great.
This may sound bad, but when a girl is like into super old, not old, like elder emo type of stuff,
What define what's wrong with elder
Andrew's
emo?
gonna fight you.
What's wrong with elder emo? And
do
what
you
would
mean
define
I just
elder
wanna
emo?
run.
Yeah,
I'm in trouble. I'm an addict. I'm addicted to this girl.
I don't know what that is.
Dude,
Okay.
I have this
I can't talk to you then.
long-standing thing
Do
that
you know Justin?
I think so.
Okay.
There's a song called "Taxi Driver" by the band Gym Class Heroes.
Okay.
Gym
And literally,
Class
No.
Heroes.
That's-
I know that's not.
yeah,
But I know it's keep up chokehold, but I just wanted to say that.
but yeah, so it's from like Gym Class Heroes were never exactly emo. They're like emo adjacent. Like they're on Warped Tour and stuff. But like,
Is that emo adjacent?
that's emo. If you're on Warped Tour, you're definitely emo
Warped Tour,
adjacent.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Paramore,
Totally.
Paramore,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jason.
The Main.
The Main.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I love the Main.
I
Are you
love
kidding
the
me?
Main. Black Butterflies and Deja Vu.
Oh my god, so good.
Listen to your heart.
But
is
yeah,
what
so Gym Class Heroes had this song called "Taxi Driver," which quite literally is just like them name dropping a bunch of like early emo core bands. And I said, like, if I can meet a woman who can name all of those bands, I will get on one knee and propose.
I know a
on the
lot of. I
spot.
know women that can,
Yeah, I
but
know.
she's married.
Find them. Get them on
yeah,
the pod.
Yeah.
But I do want to point out, Paul. We just named a lot of emo, like that type of music, and you looked confused. So I don't
Yeah,
understand
I
how you
don't
can
know.
judge a
I
woman
don't-
by that.
It's not that because I have listened to a lot of it, but if you are only listening to that and you're stuck in 2007,
Oh, I hate that.
That's
You have
going to
some
be a
trauma.
problem
I
for
hate
me.
that.
That's
Then you
going to be
probably
a
have
problem.
trauma.
Like your number one artist is Yellow Card.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean the Yellow Card catalog isn't that deep,
Exactly.
aside from that one album
Yeah.
that they've
Right.
done.
It's kind of
Oh my
scary.
God.
I mean the violin goes hard, but
Okay.
but
What about moving on from artists?
I do want to say though, are you confirming that it's okay? Like I put like Limp Bizkit as one of my favorite artists. So you're cool. Women are cool with new metal. Is
Can I
that
be-
what we're confirming? Women like new metal.
They don't.
I'm
They
gonna be
do like new
honest. I
metal.
don't know who Limp Bizkit is.
Have you watched the
They're-
Woodstock
they're-
'99
they're
documentary?
Really,
No.
popular.
Oh, dude, you guys gotta watch the Woodstock.
I have.
That's yeah. Do you think there was
Listen.
enough like destruction at Woodstock '99?
Hey, I
Should
want
there
to
have been
ask you
more?
a question, not about Limp Bizkit.
She doesn't
Andrew,
know. anything.
I don't know them.
Why do you sound like my mom?
Because
because
it-
I am taking the
here's
place
the
of
thing.
Kathy right now.
They don't know
Mac,
what new
I am
metal is.
listening. I am
you.
eager to
New
hear
metal.
the
I know.
question.
New metal
I
has
just
a
wanted to
place.
know.
They don't even know how to spell new. in
Because
new metal.
I am thinking about breaking up with Paul.
Whoa.
We have
you
a
guys
sound
had-
effect button.
Let me step away.
So
I thought you guys had something stable going.
I know, you know.
Thought what we had
Is that what you guys thought? Just is it because we both like live here? 'Cause that's not true.
You guys have separate rooms.
Yeah.
So I didn't think we had a 2-bedroom. No, but I, in case I get back out there, we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm, his Christmas presents. He got me fuzzy socks. So.
That was it. No.
But anyway,
Yeah, where are you getting with this?
I want to
What's this
ask
question?
if you go on a date with a woman.
It doesn't happen. Sorry, continue.
Next question.
I went on a date
It's the
on
same as like
Friday.
reading a book. Okay, what would you say, like first date? What are like some things or a thing that you like immediately you're like, nope, it's a no go. It's a no go, and it's not like a. It can't be something like obviously.
Like, she
Terrible.
weighs
So,
300
so-
pounds or something.
Okay, no, we're not
Oh.
fat shaming.
What?
Are you kidding me?
No, that's what I thought you meant. Like, nothing obvious. Like, she's.
I'm sorry, that's not an obvious thing.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
You need to take that back.
What?
Say I'm sorry.
Take back someone's, like, appearance?
Okay,
I'm
but you're
confused.
talking about
Hypothetical
weight, not
opinion.
appearance.
Yeah, this is all
So-
hypothetical. You act like I'm talking about a real person who
I know,
just
but
showed
it
up.
just seems
This would be a
mean.
great time to play the entirety of like an ABBA song just
See,
to fill
this is
this
why I'm
awkward
dumping
gap.
him, is because he's basing women off of weight. We're not talking about that.
So something-
That's why I
Yes.
said you're
On a-
avoiding the, like.
Yes, in
Yeah,
general,
yeah.
I understand what
It's
you're
like those. It's
talking
like
about.
those
It's like,
YouTube channels that like they like sit down at the like buzzer thing and they like are blindfolded and they take
I
the
mean-
blindfold off or like, hey, can I give you a hug? And they give them a hug and then as soon as they sit down they go burn and they hit the buzzer.
Yeah, I have seen
I
that.
haven't
seen
seen
those?
that.
Yeah.
I want to watch
Yeah.
it though. But you can say something about like appearance if it's like
Color
not.
of their hair.
I mean,
I usually don't have a problem with that.
My-
yeah,
my-
I mean, but that's interesting. I don't want anything like about weight or like
Okay, I'm back up.
outrageously like
first date-
ugly.
So- yeah,
Obviously,
so-
you
on
know?
a first date, I would say you bring up anything related to your ex,
Okay.
red flag.
Oh.
I just don't feel like why bring it up.
But what
all-
if I guess I'm trying to think of like if that would be relevant.
If they're like,
in
oh
any
no,
sort of
we're out for a
conversation.
drink and they're like, oh, my ex loved that beer that you
Yeah,
got. Like
that's-
he was
Oh, yeah,
such, he was such a
that's-
jerk. Like
Yeah.
it's like, well, okay,
Yeah,
why bring
okay,
that up?
okay.
Go
yeah, yeah.
go see your therapist. Also,
Yeah.
Bringing it back, you have a male therapist?
Yeah.
That's pretty
wild.
cool.
I had a female therapist.
Really?
Yeah, male therapist.
I
I
got
heard that
down with a
males-
female therapist.
I heard that men would rather
Not
talk
like-
to a female therapist than men.
Explain that.
Yeah, that's-
Expand on that.
It's like this. It's like
therapist was my
the
mother's
Lion's
age, I would
Guide,
never-
but survival guide,
the
adventure
survival
guide.
adventure guide or
Survival
whatever.
guide.
An ick for me on the first date is if they are lazy or like unmotivated. Like I went on a first
how
date.
would you- oh, okay,
I
so
went on
you're
a first date with
example.
someone in college. Like we just ate lunch at the cafeteria because we were babies and we
Classic.
couldn't do anything. And she was talking about class, and she was like, "I don't want to go to class." I'm like, "Just go. Like you
Okay, but
signed
maybe
up
she
for
just-
You're
it."
here.
Yeah, and she was like, "I don't want to," and I was like, "Lazy.
Yeah.
Grow up. Are you kidding me?"
That's actually a hot take because I feel like I say that all the time. Like, oh, I don't want to go do this.
Right,
But
you
she
do.
wouldn't go. But she wouldn't go, and then she would
But you do.
I
complain
do end up
about how
going.
she was behind on everything.
that's-
Oh,
and I
okay,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
okay. There's more context.
you signed up for it.
Right.
You
More
signed-
context.
you
Okay.
did it on your
This
own."
is guy or girl, but if you don't like acknowledge the waiter or waitress or are disrespectful to them,
Yeah,
then you
say your P's and Q's.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm a big P's and
I
Q's
have a
guy.
friend who's like that. Like I have, I'm not gonna name names, but I have an actual friend who, they just do not know how to talk to like workers.
Do they say like, "I want this"?
Like
That's how my
they're,
Nana
yeah, they're like
talks.
they're like a little bit standoffish in a way. It's not like they're not rude. That's the thing. It's like they're not rude. They're just very much like direct.
Yeah.
And I
That-
don't
that's
think they're not trying to be rude either, and they don't think they're above anyone else. It's just like, let's say you go to like a stand, like a taco stand, you order, and they're like, "What would you like on your taco?" I would be like, "Oh, I'd like some cheese, please,"
Or
and maybe
could
like,
I? Could I?
yeah, or could I?
I
you know,
need. If
they
you start
would-
with I need, we're
that.
done.
no, they would be
Yeah.
like, they would just answer. It'd be very direct, like cheese, lettuce,
Yeah.
and then it's this much. Here you go. Want anything else? No.
I
You
think
know what I mean? It's
a-
not rude. It's just.
I think it's a
in their
learned
way.
behavior. I think
Yeah,
it's definitely
yeah.
that's something that because my P's and Q's were definitely something that my parents
My
like
parents
stressed.
raised me on that.
But I also would like I would always be observant of like how like my dad would be when we were at like the restaurant as a family. Like one of the things I would always notice that he would do would be like if they came up to us, and this would like usually be like a big thing. Like if we were at like a restaurant out of town or like a nicer restaurant, like. Waiter would come up and be like, "Good evening, my name's Kyle. I'm gonna be your waiter for tonight." And my dad would be like, "Hi, Kyle, how are you?" And like he'll like
Yeah.
kind of like,
That's nice.
say the name back.
I can see Bill doing that.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Bill's a great
Your
man.
dad's name is it William?
Yeah,
Bill.
Yeah, Will.
But
Bill,
what about-
Billiam?
Billiam. Yeah.
What about bad tippers?
Bad tippers? Oh, well,
Like-
I mean, I don't look at their receipts.
Yeah.
I guess as a female, most of the time, I know it's the 21st century, right?
I'm
21st century. I feel like men still most of the time are paying, and when they do, I just sneak a peek. I always do, and I don't know what it is, but I think it's because I worked as a server and a bartender
yeah, that checks out.
that I just like I know how someone else tips, and it's actually interesting because I went to coffee with Tess,
Yeah.
and I had a gift card, and we went in the morning, and I ran out of money on my gift card, so I couldn't tip the coffee person.
Yeah.
And so we sat down in the booth, and I felt really bad about it because I didn't have any cash, and I just brought my gift card. But then this random man came in and was like, "I'll give anyone $3 if they can guess my age." And I guessed his age, and
What?
he gave me $3.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And so I put it in the tip
Did
jar.
he just announce that like a freaking Bond villain?
Yeah.
Like, hello everyone.
Yeah.
If you can guess my age,
Yeah.
I will not blow up the city.
They
of-
said he's like a
No,
regular.
yeah.
That was weird like that.
Oh, he
right?
was
Oh, is that
regular?
watermelon guy?
Oh no.
No, and it wasn't a watermelon guy. No, it wasn't. I don't know if it was a regular.
Oh, okay.
I can't confirm, but I guessed his age, and he gave me $3, and I put it in the tip jar, and I said, "Oh, I felt really bad. I'm really glad that I got those $3 because I couldn't tip." She goes, "Oh yeah, I noticed."
They.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
they were like, "I noticed that you didn't tip." I wasn't going to say anything, and they were like, "I'm not judging you. I just noticed." And I was
They
like,
said all that.
"Well, Tess."
Oh, I thought you meant the. I thought you meant the barista.
No,
I thought you meant the barista.
I told Tess like, "Oh, I felt really bad because I couldn't tip," and they said to me, "Oh, yeah, like I noticed."
I thought you meant the barista.
No,
Yeah,
no, sorry.
I was like,
sorry.
bitch.
No. Tess just said, and Tess was like, "I'm not judging you," and I totally get it
Yeah.
though. Like that is something that people notice, and I noticed that because I'm again
Yeah.
come from the industry, and obviously Tess used to work at a coffee shop.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just something I look out for. If a
Wild.
man tips poorly or doesn't tip at all, I just make note. I don't know.
I always tip like, and I round up to the nearest dollar, not the nearest dollar, but I will always
Right.
go up to like $1, like a nice
yeah.
dollar. amount.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
20%. Just do. 20
I usually do
if you
20.
can.
I just
20
At
divide.
least 20. I'm doing at least 20%.
I move the decimal and divide by 2.
Yep.
Here's
Every time.
a discussion that I think is highly contested. Tipping for black coffee.
I've
Yes
never
or
drank
no?
coffee, so I'm out of this one.
That's a tough one. I've
That
had someone.
is hard.
I've had someone. There's a lot of
Is
people.
it self-serve?
No. And so the thing is that the excuse that I've heard from someone who they will remain nameless in case there's like,
Backlash.
tipping people who already get their pitchforks out there. Basically they're like, I tip for service.
Yeah.
So if I do pick up from a restaurant, if they pour me coffee at a coffee shop, I don't tip for
Yeah.
that. Because I tip for like,
They pour it?
the preparation, the driving, stuff like that.
Do they know what service is?
I think service. I think that's where the
Yeah, but-
definition gets muddied.
But
for some
takeout, like people still had to make that and box it and like bag it and all that kind of stuff. The hostess do, and usually hostess have to all like
I usually tip when
tip
I
share.
do.
I do. I don't tip as much. I won't tip like a full
No.
20% on a takeout order, but usually I will tip a little bit because
Before the
Most of
pandemic,
us will do.
I don't think I was tipping on carryout.
I didn't know you were supposed to
Really?
tip
I
on
didn't.
carryout.
And then after the pandemic, now it's kind of become a thing.
yeah, I think it's just
it was
because
brought
that
to
was
light.
Yeah,
well
yeah.
because servers make I don't know how it worked during the pandemic, obviously.
servers make like $3 an
Yeah,
hour. There were no
nothing.
servers during the pandemic.
But for black
Right.
coffee, it's interesting. I guess I wouldn't at Starbucks.
Also, why
For
are
black
you going?
coffee?
No.
No, that's normal.
Do people just go to like a nice cafe and
Yeah,
order black?
he does all the
oh,
time.
you do?
It's still
Okay,
nice
okay.
coffee. It doesn't.
I'm a
yeah.
masochist.
it doesn't
yeah.
really make sense to me.
It's still nice coffee. I
But
think.
it's a social thing.
Yeah.
I think that like if you're going to a nice local coffee shop, I would still probably tip $1. I just tip. It's
Yeah,
like a
that's my
bartender.
thing.
Like if a
Gotta-
bartender gives me a beer, like he's just opening a beer, right?
Yeah,
And he gives it
yeah.
to you. You're still tipping $1 for every
That's
drink.
service.
You know,
That's
it's still
service.
service.
You're
So
tipping,
that's the
you're
same as
tipping the
black
dude at the
coffee.
wedding. That's like the open bar guy at the
Oh,
wedding.
that guy's getting
Yeah.
paid.
That guy's getting paid.
Which I will say, if you tip the guy at the open bar,
To
he's
get a
making
song?
so much
Oh.
money because the wedding, like the people who are getting married, also tip them a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
The
like,
most
crap
important
ton.
thing is to tip the person at Cold Stone so you can get a song.
No, I worked there for a year and I hate
Please
you.
tell me you guys
You worked
song.
at a Cold Stone?
I remember.
I still have the keys to the Cold Stone in Kalamazoo if anyone wants
Let's
to know.
go. You're coming along with us.
Let's go. Road trip.
Live episode from the Kalamazoo. It's like like live
Inside.
from the dentist office. Like
Yeah.
we're doing like live from like. The
Or
Cold
like
Stone.
in the
Live from
car
Cold
and it's like,
Stone
Country.
and continuing on with this podcast,
Yeah.
Paul's driving us all to the Cold Stone in Kalamazoo.
That's when we'll play that entire ABBA song as like kind of like the
No,
interlude.
we're not
Yeah.
doing that.
There's some great ABBA songs that are not besides Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen,
I don't know
who
any
did
others.
like a virgin. Is
That's
that
not
ABBA?
That's
ABBA.
Madonna,
that is
man.
not ABBA. That's
Okay,
not
everybody
Swedish.
just came for me
I've
and
never
I'm
heard
sad about
anyone
it.
call it ABBA.
ABBA?
ABBA.
It-
That's what ABBA.
ABBA?
I
it's
heard
been ABBA
ABBA
for
on the
me.
internet.
It's always
Oh,
been
okay.
ABBA. Yeah.
Well, I guess ABBA.
I guess you
No,
go
I like
anywhere.
ABBA more.
ABBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
ABBA makes more sense.
Yeah.
They just dropped an album this year.
Yeah,
they
they're,
really-
they're
30 years
arguably the
without
best
dropping an
band
album.
to ever win Eurovision. Because
You guys know too much about
Måneskin
music.
won it, and Måneskin sucks. I'm sorry, Måneskin sucks.
I'm out
We're
of
getting in the
loop now.
weeds because
Yeah.
I know.
What?
Look now.
Okay. I
They're the
don't-
one that's like that. Put your love in, I'm begging.
Oh, yeah, I know
yeah.
them.
I'm begging. Yeah. No,
Okay,
they
I
suck.
want
Oh,
that to
that
stop,
song
though.
stinks.
That song stinks. Yes.
I liked it.
And
their
I
music-
like it.
They made an album
I feel
and it
personally
stinks.
victimized on this
It was one of the
podcast.
worst albums ever.
begging.
That's a cover of a song.
I don't like
That's a
that
cover
song.
of a song
Put your
from
loving
the 50s.
arms
I don't like that song either.
Or his hands.
It
His
was
hands.
trash. You know what's good music? The Strokes.
Strokes.
I'm a guy that listens to the Strokes.
You are a guy that you look like a guy who's listening to the
I like
Strokes.
Noah Khan. Anyway, worst pet name.
Wait,
Go.
can I- no. Before the pet name, can I
Yeah, yeah.
ask what's everybody's worst job they've ever had?
Subway.
No.
Subway.
Yeah, my older sibling worked
The
at Subway.
bottle room.
The
The
bottle.
what
room.
now?
I worked at Rick's, the grocery store in Rockford.
Oh yeah, like on Belding.
Yes.
I know
And
that
you
one.
worked like
And-
in like the recycling bottle room.
So they don't. So Rick's is not like Meyer.
yeah.
you
I'm sure.
take-
I wonder why.
Well, like in the sense of like bottle returns.
Oh.
So you take, there's a counter and there's a window, and you take your bag of shit.
Bottles,
Well, no, some had shit in the bag.
poop and pee.
Diapers, dead birds, rats.
Dead birds.
And they literally just drop it off, and they do their grocery shopping, and by the time they're done, you have to take each one out, clean it, and sort it into the appropriate, like, Alliance beverages, etc.
Seriously,
And then you give them, like, how much was
money
there.
back?
Like, yeah.
that's crazy. That should be. You
It
should
was
get tipped.
so... No, you didn't either. And if it was really dead back there, I had to go bag groceries. It was the worst job, and it was my first job ever.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
sad.
In college for a summer, I cleaned college apartments.
Oh, yeah.
After they would move out at a temp agency.
That's a bad
That's
one.
that's
Pretty
tough.
bad.
What city?
It was Copper
Kalamazoo?
Beach.
Oh,
In
it was
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
a scary time.
That is
Yeah.
scary.
Scary.
My worst job. Now I don't know what my worst job
You said
is.
Subway.
No.
No,
that
his
was Woody.
brother
Oh,
or
but you-
sibling.
Woody said Subway. I worked at a Little Caesars for a long time.
Ooh.
Yum. Hot
You know
and
what's
ready.
funny is like I've known people that worked at Little Caesars and they liked it.
It's fun. It's
They
a fun
kind of
job.
liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing behind the pizza oven.
One was a
just
manager.
So many
He's like,
pizzas
dude, it
coming
was the
out.
best.
Did you get to eat a lot of pizza?
Yeah. The way the place that I was at, they gave us food for free.
Nice.
Oh, I love their crazy bread.
Our crazy bread is really good.
Paul doesn't let me eat shit food anymore.
I do. I mean,
Like Culver's
let her
and
eat
Little
shit food.
Caesars.
she
As a
says I
registered
don't like
I have
dietitian
this-
who just ate Culver's for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a common misconception. People think that registered dietitians eat healthy all the time.
Right.
No, dude.
What's
no.
it like the
Yeah.
all foods fit? That, like the
Yeah.
theory? Is it? I don't know if it's a theory or a practice.
One way to put it in like runner terms is, if the furnace is hot enough, it's gonna burn,
It's a great way of
no
putting
matter
it.
what calories are in there. Which
Yeah.
I don't condone, but
Right.
you can always eat more clean and
Yeah, of
efficient.
course, of
you don't
course.
always have to eat McDicks.
Right.
Dicks, McDonald's.
It's
Wow.
good. It's good every
Interesting.
once in a while, but not all the time.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to end on
Yeah, we're almost
everyone
at 2
saying,
hours.
yeah, let's
Oh,
let's
wow.
end on everybody saying the worst pet name.
Worst,
worst
pet,
pet
Like
name.
worst pet name.
Like you mean for an animal, not for your significant other.
No.
Let's not go there.
No
Let's
one
not
was
go- I know-
everyone
I
talking
know
no one was
someone-
talking about an animal.
I know someone who calls their significant other chicken.
Oh.
Aw. No, it doesn't have to be that you were called. It's like just in general, like what you would say the worst one is. It's not like, oh, I
It's
was
not like a
called this
pet-
and I
It's
hated
not
it.
like a pet name that I currently have, but like the worst pet name.
Well, I mean, if you believe the one that you have is the worst, yeah.
Oh, I don't have any pets, so
No, not actually.
She's talking about for your partner, right?
for my
Mac, you really confused the lot
said-
here.
you
No,
said
pet name.
Pet, like for your
Pet name.
animal,
like pet, like animal.
like for your cat or
Isn't
dog.
no,
You
it's
said
like
partner.
baby, like buddy.
Babe, sweetheart.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, is that not called a pet name?
It is, but like you need to be more specific.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
Did you know that was a thing?
Like
Pet
pet,
Pet
names
name?
for your partner. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, like honey
sweetie,
or
honey,
sugar
babe,
plum.
Like babe.
sugar plum fairy. You know,
Baby cakes.
honey bunches of oats.
Beautiful.
I
know
like
if
that one.
I have a
Honey
bitch.
bunches of
Someone
oats.
called me that once, and I was just like, oh.
I'm not
Was
really
it me?
big
I called,
on them.
I called my girlfriend baby cakes once, and she said,
Baby
"Never call me that ever
Baby
again."
cakes.
Dude, she threatened you. You saw the end.
Not my
there.
current girlfriend, by the way.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I've never said it.
I think it's creepy when
Okay,
people
good.
call their significant other daddy and mommy.
Dad,
Okay.
don't.
And they're
like
not
that.
parents.
Who does that in
Okay,
public?
back to actual like animals though.
No, my question was pet name.
Ma-
What's the worst pet name?
I thought you
see
meant
the
for
problem
animals.
with-
No, it's
Yeah.
not for animals.
I don't see the
Okay,
problem.
pet
with-
name.
I mean, I guess you can pick either one.
I-
Okay, fine. Let's go with the animal one, and then we can.
Well, I-
Well, okay, we'll say daddy and mommy. Though,
I have a
don't
problem
like.
with babe when you know they're not in a good relationship and it's like, oh, they're saying babe too much. Like, chill.
Oh, they're like beating a dead horse.
Like, hey, babe. It's like the Office episode with when they're at the house for the dinner party.
Oh.
And babe, can you check the dinner? Yeah, it's stuff like
The
that.
candles.
Babe, how's your steak? Yeah, and the
Dude,
candles.
everything comes back to the office dinner
Yeah,
party
it honestly
episode.
does.
Oh my God.
Everything.
Mac, do you know what we're talking about?
no, but that
Okay,
was voted
okay.
the
Well,
best
you wanna
episode
be
on
my
the
first?
So good,
webcast
yeah.
thing.
That's what she said.
Small TV.
Yeah.
Guys, check
Paul
this
and
out.
Paul and I call each other Burgerhead.
Yeah.
Burger.
Burgerhead?
We call it
That's-
like you'll hear me call him Burger.
New band name. I
Today,
added to the list.
today
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
called me out. Dan was like, "What did you just call him?" I said, "Burger." And he
I
goes,
could go through my
"Burger?"
list of
I
band
was like,
names
"Yeah."
instead of saying
Yeah.
a pet name. I have a great list of band names.
The Parks and Rec had good band. Andy Dwyer would always come up with like Foreskin, Three Skin.
Yeah.
He would always come up with
Random
funny band names.
You actually have a note.
Oh wow, you have
On
a
your
full
phone with a ton of
note.
band
names.
What's
Ton of
what's a
band
funny one?
Do you play an instrument? Like
No.
We're starting a new metal band.
Liquid Skin.
Liquid Skin.
This
Dude,
is
could go. We would Liquid Skin live at the Pyramid Scheme.
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
you can't tell me that wouldn't be a thing.
Cats in the bathroom.
Okay,
Bathroom.
Welcome to the addiction.
The addiction.
I actually like
But
that.
that's a little play on like
That's
Jane's
fine.
Addiction. I feel like.
New garage door.
Oh, these aren't going to be good bands.
I feel like he would have been
Band,
good coming
band.
up with the podcast name.
Band.
Meat straw.
Meat straw. I
Meat
like
straw?
that.
Least psychotic Orlando resident. Maine C's. Maine C's. But Maine is spelled like
You
the
want to know
state.
how I want this podcast to
Oh.
end? I just wanted to slowly like you know what I mean?
Fade out as he's
on
listing all
all
of
of these
them.
like,
Horcrux
different band
babies.
names.
Yeah,
Horcrux
he's
babies.
Horcrux babies.
My
Keeps going
friends-
on. It's like 5 hours later. It's just him naming.
My
the
friend's
bands.
hypothetical group is the Broadway Limited.
Broadway Limited.
The Broadway Limited.
I feel kind of left out whenever we have males on the podcast.
This is gonna fade
The
out.
accountants.
Josh, or Josh. Where did I get the name Josh?
Who's
Justin?
Josh?
Justin's gonna be like horse water napkin trough. And it's just gonna fade out.
Mac, this is we'll give you like 1 minute to talk about whatever you want to talk about since you feel left out.
No, I
Pet
don't.
names.
I
What's
don't-
your okay? What is your least favorite?
I said
cat?
mommy and daddy. Oh,
No, for cats and dogs.
A human name.
I love that.
dude.
Like
Sarah?
Sebastian.
Sarah. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I like it to be like I wanted to name one of my animals after my dad if I had a boy, like just Donald. So then I would be like, Donald, come here, and it would be like my dad's
I
name.
would,
I thought
it would have to
funny.
be a cat. I don't know about a dog name.
One of my coworkers, he goes to
Don?
the dog park, and one of the bad dogs is named Melissa, and I think that's a really bad. I think that's a
What if
really
it's like a
bad
See,
dog.
it's funny.
A truly like human core name.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Like Jessica
Yes.
for a dog.
Yes.
I don't like the basic ones like Buddy. Don't name your animals Buddy.
Like
Scruffy.
Scruffy.
Yeah, Fluffy.
Max.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Maisie's a perfect name.
That's a good one.
Well,
Maisie is a
that
good
doesn't.
name.
Well, of course you think that.
Yeah.
A good dog name.
Well, we're talking about good Lamar.
Lamar.
Lamar, dude.
We're talking about
that
good
dog's
ones.
hard.
Huge Ravens fans. Huge Ravens fans.
Love you guys.
No. I love you
For
guys.
our Baltimore
Yeah.
Baltimore listeners.
Wait, why'd
yeah.
you say love? Oh, love you. I thought you were talking about
Love
us.
you
I was like,
guys.
oh, just
No, I was looking
really
at the
nice.
camera. I was
Yeah.
attempting to wrap up.
Yeah, let's
Oh.
wrap it. Thanks
Yeah,
for,
I've
I
had-
kinda
I've
want
had a lot of
Culver-
fun.
Yeah,
I've
and
had
I
a
want
lot
a
of fun.
Culver's
yeah,
burger
this
now.
was like the
This is a
most
good time.
random topic podcast. I enjoyed it.
I kind of liked it,
Yeah.
except
Can't
for I
wait.
didn't understand about all the music. But I'll
I
have
can't
to
wait
do
for all the
some
hate
reading.
mail that's gonna come in.
Yeah.
There's
it
more
is.
band
Yeah.
names coming. If you want
There
the
is.
band names to make Twitter,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
put them there.
Yeah.
I have
So
a
everyone
burner.
get
I have a
your X
burner
account.
account. I
He has
will
a
put them
burner
there.
account.
We are starting a new metal band.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna like perform at the Pyramid Scheme.
Liquid
so-
Skin.
Liquid
All right.
Skin.
Well,
live at
on
the
that
Pyramid
note,
Scheme.
we're logging off. I'm
Bedtime.
Liquid Skin. So thank you both for being
Thanks,
on our
guys.
podcast.
Thank
and
you for
Thank you
having
guys.
us.
yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate
hopefully,
it.
things get better for you guys.
Hopefully your news.
I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah.
great personally.